एटलीस्ट 10% का पार्टिसिपेशन रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री का होना चाहिए। मुझे लगता है यहाँ सबके लिए बहुत बड़ा काम है, केवल सही माइंडसेट, सही एक विज़न के साथ चलना चाहिए। एंड जो फेथ जो कस्टमर का थोड़ा लूज हुआ था लास्ट कुछ सालों में, वो फिर से इस्टेब्लिश हुआ है, तो इसको कंटिन्यू रखना है। मुझे लगता है गवर्नमेंट भी बहुत पॉजिटिव है, बजट में भी बहुत अनाउंसमेंट आपने देखे हैं इसको लेकर, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को लेकर भी, अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग को लेकर भी। तो क्वाइट होपफुल कि लोगों को जो ये फेथ इस वक्त मिला है, लोगों को ट्रस्ट आया है फिर
सो देयर इज अ लॉन्ग लेग। आप ये कह रहे हैं कि इंडस्ट्री में भी काफ़ी सुधार आया है, और होम बायर्स जो आपने नंबर्स बोले, ये नंबर्स देख के जो है एक हौसला बढ़ता है। सो इन द बेस्ट ऑफ टाइम्स China was selling more than 1 crore units, 1.1 crore units. Altogether, India's top 7 cities have sold 5 lakh housing units in the last financial year. So that's the gap that we are talking about, and that's the opportunity that all these developers have. The other one, which I really actually liked, was the market capitalization of the entire stock market in India versus what real estate listed players bring. And you were smiling because आपका तो IPO is running. जिसने डाला पैसा, he's done very well.
अभी तो मनोज जी ने भी अनाउंसमेंट किया है कि बहुत
I know. I was just going to come to him कि मनोज जी,
so
when is that news coming to us?
So
what are the dates?
Not specifically, वो एक प्रोग्राम था, हमारा प्रोजेक्ट लॉन्च हुआ, जैसे इन्होंने बताया कि वो for 1200 flats we got 3600 एप्लीकेशन। लिटरली जो है स्कूल चिल्ड्रंस को बुला के लॉटरी, यूट्यूब लाइव पे लॉटरी करके फ्लैट देने पड़े। दिस टाइप ऑफ जो है रिस्पॉन्स वी आर गेटिंग इन दैट प्रोग्राम। अनुपम खेर के साथ एक प्रोग्राम था, उन्होंने नेक्स्ट 5 ईयर का विजन पूछा था। डेफिनेटली आपको जो है एक ऑर्गेनाइज मार्केट में उसके अंदर आना ही पड़ेगा। जिस तरह से जो बिजनेस चल रहा है, जिस तरह से कंप्लाइंस लेवल चल रहा है, गवर्नमेंट बढ़ रही है, तो अभी नॉन लिस्टेड और लिस्टेड का गैप धीरे धीरे नैरो हो रहा है। जब वो उतना हो ही रहा है तो डेफिनेटली
Then might as well go for a listing and get slightly more reasonable capital, isn't it, Anshuman? At what rate are you getting developers capital now?
Anshuman is the right
Has there been a
person
change in that expensive capital which used to come to developers?
You mentioned IPO. It is expected this year India would have the largest number of IPOs in the world. America will be number 2.
Yes.
So this is a time, because the market is so good, it's a great way to finance, and of course congratulations on his IPO was broken all records.
Broken all records. Anshuman, carrying on the conversation. So, look, it's very easy for us to compare China versus India, but look at China's real estate market in comparison to the businesses which are there. And then it does not look so out of sync, or even the average income, right? China's average income versus India's average income is hugely different at this moment, and that's the reason why our real estate is probably lagging, and it will take some time to catch up. Give me an overview of the office market, the GCCs who are coming. How excited are they about India? The FII money, I know for the last quarter, we've seen a 145% jump in financial investments coming specifically to real estate, but are those giving you the confidence? Because once people have jobs, they will buy homes.
Absolutely. First of all, China is a good comparison, but they are far, far ahead of us. So a lot of times when we compare it to China, China is comparing themselves to America. And we are far behind both. But it's a good benchmark. Those statistics are fantastic. But China's per capita income, its market cap is 5-10. I mean, we are 75 years behind China, by the way. But still is a good benchmark, and it only shows, which what you mentioned, Mr. Agarwal. I think we are so behind. We can only go up, right? As far as the office market is concerned, this year is expected to be the best year ever. There's still 1 quarter left, few weeks left, and a lot of large takes up in the last quarter. But I thought last year was a benchmark. We're going to break that this year. It is expected with a caveat where we, last year, if there was 63 million plus square feet of office space which was taken up, we will be in late 67, 80, may touch 70 million, Again, early days, but it is a record-breaking year.
So Fortune 500 companies, that is an indication, are looking very seriously at India to set up shop.
Absolutely, because India has established itself as the offshoring destination in the world. And now you mentioned GCCs. It is unbelievable. I've never seen so many companies expanding, especially the GCCs. In the past, they used to give their work to third-party service providers. Now they're putting up their own centers. And the amount of rush and the fact happens is whenever there is a slowdown, today most of the large corporations, especially in America, cannot compete in the marketplace if they're not optimizing their costs by offshoring and offshoring to India. And that's why for our office market, it's one of the best markets in the world currently. And I was expecting that last year was such a fantastic year. This year it may slow down. It has even broken the record of last year. So, and so far, it's expected that this will go on for some time. We don't know how long. But the office market has done fantastically well. You mentioned on foreign investment, that is coming. But I must say, it's still not coming as much it should have. The whole discussion of China +1, the fact is, large amount of international capital is not going to China. And we were expecting most of it will come to India. Unfortunately, most is not coming to India as of now. I just hope that momentum picks up, that India gets a full benefit of large financial institutions, private equity funds not going to China, in fact, trying to get out of it. So we will get the benefit. We have got quite a bit of investment, but it's a small portion of what we deserve to get.
We deserve to get, and I think it's a larger conversation. We still need to work on our ease of doing business, and who will know that better than real estate? But Madhur, let me come to you. Very interestingly, of course, Mr. Joginder Singh gave a fantastic opening keynote address, and he spoke about the fact that why is real estate only 7% of India's GDP? It has a potential to become 20% of GDP. You've got a view of both the industrial market. Hero Group is in industrials in Haridwar, which is a very unique market and doing extremely well. And you also have a residential home market in Tier 2 and now Dwarka Expressway, which is one of the hot markets. So, how much have you benefited from this infrastructure growth, political stability? Do you think that's played a great role in this fantastic bull run that we see in real estate and residential?
Namaskar. So first of all, thank you very much and giving us an opportunity to share such an esteemed panel. So now, as your question says that how much we have benefited. Actually, the entire real estate community has benefited out of this. Because if you see, when you ask me about our project of Haridwar, so we initiated that campaign shifting from the core cities to the Tier 2 cities. So I would thank my management, my chairman for that, because he is visionary, that he has foreseen beforehand, that he shifted from, main focus has shifted from, or rather we started from Haridwar. So we have industrial parks there, plotted, then I would say the mid-sized segment of residential areas, low segment, which was initiated for actually the workers. So the people, those who are working there in industrial area, they should also have some house. So affordable kind of housing we provided them. And it is a world class, I would say. So if you see that the entire country is benefited out of the drive which is going on, and I see that at least another 5-10 years are there, at least minimum for India, where real estate will develop to a level, because infrastructure is a prime, is a core of any development area, as our panelist also says that. So we are also doing it, and we have primarily shifting into a Tier 2 cities, because we see that I would say the affordability of people now is shifting from metro cities to the Tier 2 cities. That is why if you see that the Dwarka Expressway, why it has come up, it is coming up so nicely, or why the appreciation is so much in Dwarka Expressway. This is one of the core area. This is one of the core reason why it is shifting. Because now people, if you see the connectivity of Dwarka Expressway, it is very well connected to Delhi and to Gurgaon. So the people, those who are unable to afford housing in Delhi, they are shifting to Dwarka Expressway.
Where is the housing in Delhi, Madhur? सारी तो आप लोग ले गए हैं द्वारका एक्सप्रेस पे, गुड़गांव, नोएडा, अब एक न्यू नोएडा भी बना रहे हैं. So we are Delhiites are going to be left with just us living here.
So this Dwarka Expressway is one a big buzz area, I would say, which is coming up. And now, if you see that the Tier 2 cities like Dehradun, Haridwar, Mathura, Vrindavan, these areas have also coming up very nicely.
Rising incomes, rising aspirations.
Rising
Even they want to
aspirations.
live in condominiums, in
Yeah.
beautiful homes,
Yeah.
and they've seen it. Now everyone has exposure. They want their lifestyles to be better. All right, Manoj, I'm going to come back to you, and now I'm going to shift. I think we've covered all the fantastic parts of real estate. Um, now are some of the tough questions, right? Not in your region so much, but there is air pollution which is enveloping us, right? So at some point, great infrastructure, great real estate, but quality of life also depends on the quality of roads that we have around the project. ये EDC तो आप लोग देते हैं ना, external development charges for let's say the authorities to provide water, electricity, roads, maybe clean air also at some level. The government needs to take care of that. As CREDAI, are these things important to you? Do you push for this agenda of better cities?
Definitely, the development and the environment, they both are run together. It is not possible that only the development will take place and no environment concern is there. On only environment, no development. But we are a developing nation. दोनों चीजें साथ साथ चलना जरूरी है. And you rightly said the mindset of the municipal corporation, development authority, and their designing also. Sometimes, most of the time, you see this pollution is because of the road dust, because roads are not completely paved. They are design fault. That initially the master plan road is 30 meter, they are just constructing on it 7 meter, 8 meter left, rest is left open, no paving, nothing. Most of the world में आप जाएंगे तो कोई भी loose soil आपको जो है सड़क के किनारे नहीं दिखेगी. And the quality of transport also, जो भी trucks हैं वो covered होते हैं. जो अभी road की condition तो हम कह सकते हैं कि हम world class के at par आ रहे हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा mindset of the local इसके अंदर वो अभी जो है मेरे को लगता है अभी बाकी है. And as far as the developers are concerned, we are bound with many things like every building need to clear environment clearance. Lot of points are there. काफ़ी लोग अब आप देखेंगे कोई भी open side नहीं दिखेगी, साइडों के ऊपर controlled है. टेक्नोलॉजी ने बहुत चेंज किया है. Now we are using my one shutting. There is no loose construction material. We are using precast. We are using steel structure. And as a CREDAI also we take a oath of net zero. Now the buildings are designed as per the net जितनी requirement का हमारे को energy की है. We just bring with 15 megawatt electricity plant in Mahua district Jhansi. So whatever the commercial requirement of electricity we are producing there, giving to the government and drawing here. So this type, and the CREDAI also taken the pledge.
This is a renewable plant?
Renewable
So
part.
so you're drawing from renewable, great. Okay.
We are producing and consuming. And I think by 2040, तो रियल इस्टेट का अपना इंटरनल टारगेट हमारा CREDAI का है कि हम नेट जीरो की जितना भी कंज्यूम करें बिल्डिंग और बिल्डिंग बनने के बाद जो है उसको हम रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी या दूसरी एनर्जी से उसको ज़ीरो करें. तो वी आर आल्सो क्वाइट कंसर्न द क्वालिटी ऑफ ट्रीज, द क्वालिटी ऑफ इंटरनल डेवलपमेंट. But unfortunately, we can control inside our project only. We cannot control outside. Outside is the responsibility of government, but we are also doing a lot of work with the local development authority also. I think धीरे-धीरे change आ रहा है और बहुत सारा pollution ये जो 2 या 3 महीने होता है इसकी एक topical condition जो हमारी especially दिल्ली की है कि जिस दिन हवा चल जाएगी उस दिन मौसम pollution आपका ठीक हो जाएगा. तो it is like just like a saucer. हमारा जो है just like इस पर्टिकुलर 3 या 4 महीने के अंदर जो है वो पॉल्यूशन देखिए कोई ऐसा नई एक्टिविटी नहीं होती इन 3-4 महीनों के अंदर जो पूरे साल नहीं होती. उतने ही व्हीकल्स हैं, उतने ही कंस्ट्रक्शन है, उतनी ही वही सारी एक्टिविटी हो रही हैं. दिवाली पे पहले पटाखे जलते थे वो बैन हो गए हैं. तो उसके अलावा कोई ऐसी न्यू एक्टिविटी इन 3-4 महीने जस्ट बिकॉज द विंड की डायरेक्शन और विंड की स्पीड वो कम होती है तो पॉल्यूशन लेवल जो है वो बढ़ जाता है. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम कुछ नहीं करें, लेकिन हम कुछ मेजर्स जो है ले सकते हैं.
सर आपके एरिया में अब आप बताइए गुरुग्राम की तो न्यूज़ ही न्यूज़ आ रही थी सर, 100 करोड़ के घर के सामने नदियाँ बह रही थी. बट ओवरऑल आई मीन यू आर नॉट इन दोज मार्केट्स, यू आर इन न्यूली डेवलप्ड मार्केट्स, बट it does really shake the confidence because now in the world of internet, everything makes it to global news, right? It does not present a great picture of our country. We might call ourselves the most fastest growing, but then we have our cities which are facing these kind of troubles every year. So Pradeep ji, इसको कैसे हम एक कॉमन ग्राउंड पे लाएं कि घर तो हमारे हैं करोड़ों के, बहुत सुंदर हैं जो आप लोग बना रहे हैं, इतने बढ़िया क्लब हाउसेज हैं, स्विमिंग पूल हैं, अंदर की रोडें, ऐसे लगता ही नहीं कि आप मतलब इंडिया में हैं, और फिर आप बाहर जाए तो एकदम ही जो है माहौल बदल जाता है। एक बड़ी हाईवेज़ को छोड़ के, एयरपोर्ट्स को छोड़ के जो हमारे मोहल्ले हैं उनमें बदलाव थोड़ा धीरे आ रहा है। क्या करें? आप इंडस्ट्री लीडर्स हैं, कुछ बताइए हमको।
सो मनीषा जी, मेरा बहुत स्ट्रेट एक लाइन रहेगी कि इसमें अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स होनी चाहिए। देखिए,
मैं सोची थी मनोज जी भी कुछ बोलेंगे ऐसे
मनोज जी
पटाखेदार,
थोड़ा
पर
सा,
लेकिन उन्होंने बोला नहीं, तो आप ही बोलिए।
नहीं, मुझे आप अल्टीमेट मैं भी एक डेवलपर ही हूँ, सो लेकिन पर यानी एक चीज़ बहुत क्लियर है, देखिए केवल डेवलपर की अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स नहीं हो सकती, पूरी 360 डिग्री अकाउंटेबिलिटी फिक्स होनी चाहिए। आपने सही कहा कि ईडीसी आईडीसी आप पे कर देते हैं।
कहाँ जा रही है वो ईडीसी?
देखिए, मुझे
एक्सटर्नल
लगता है
डेवलपमेंट चार्जेस जो बिल्डर से लिया जाता है, एक दाम उनके प्रोजेक्ट साइज को देखकर, यूनिट्स को देखकर, और वो अथॉरिटी को जाता है। तो हरियाणा में वो हरियाणा अर्बन डेवलपमेंट को, हुडा को जाता है।
सो देखिए, मुझे लगता है वो पहले के कंपैरिजन में अब काफ़ी ज़्यादा चेंज आया है,
अच्छा,
क्योंकि
तो वहाँ आप
एक
बदलाव देख रहे हैं?
बिल्कुल देख रहा हूँ मैं। आप ये कह सकते हैं कि इस वक्त गुरुग्राम में जितना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नया डेवलप हुआ है, आप एनएचआई को छोड़ भी दें, उसके अलावा भी अभी आप देखें कि जो एक रिसेंटली अनाउंसमेंट किया है जिसमें मनोहर लाल जी ने, जो हमारे ऑनरेबल मिनिस्टर हैं, एंड हरियाणा के चीफ मिनिस्टर जी के साथ, कि एक रेलवे कॉरिडोर जो है वो ओपन हो रहा है, साथ में मेट्रो रेल जो है उसको भी ओपन कर रहे हैं। तो पैसा अब खर्च हो रहा है, लेकिन काम बहुत ज़्यादा है। जिस स्पीड की रिक्वायरमेंट है उस स्पीड पर काम अभी होने की गुंजाइश है, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कोई भी डिसिप्लिन जो है वो घर से ही शुरू होता है। सो एज ए कंपनी कुछ चीज़ें ज़रूर हम लोगों ने शुरू की हैं। अगर विद इन सोसाइटी की बात करें तो ग्रीन डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा हमारा फोकस है।
आपका तो मैं पहला अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग प्रोजेक्ट देखने गई थी, वो जब सस्टेनेबिलिटी वाज नॉट इन वोग, वो सस्टेनेबल था,
राइट,
एंड दैट वाज अ रियली अफोर्डेबल प्राइस ब्रैकेट, 35 to 60 लाख होम्स, राइट?
जस्ट 25 to 30 लाख।
अच्छा, 25 to 30 था, सॉरी।
सो देखिए क्या होता है, जब कोई चीज़ स्टार्ट आप करें तो एक एस्पिरेशन होनी चाहिए आपके पास, क्यों करना। हमने जिस दिन अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग, आप बहुत मुश्किल है कि आप उससे भी ग्रीन बिल्डिंग बनाना शुरू करें और आईजीबीसी गोल्ड रेटेड बनाएं। हम लोगों ने एज ए कंपनी डिसाइड किया कि हमें जितनी बिल्डिंग्स बनानी है, बहुत ज़्यादा अगर बॉटलनेक नहीं होगा तो हम मोस्टली बिल्डिंग्स को ग्रीन आईजीबीसी ग्रीन गोल्ड रेटेड बनाएंगे, या जो वर्ल्ड बैंक का जो एस सर्टिफिकेशन है वो लेंगे। तो आप ये देखिए, अभी जितने भी हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स बने हुए हैं, 90% जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं वो इसी में फॉल होते हैं। तो जो कहते हैं ना, चैरिटी जो है वो घर से शुरू होती है। तो आप अपनी जिम्मेवारी को पूरा करें, फिर आप ज़रूर फिंगर आउट कर सकते हैं उनकी तरफ। लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि काम शुरू ज़रूर हुआ है, लेकिन अभी भी बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है स्पीड अप होने की। जैसे आपने कहा कि 100 करोड़ के फ्लैट हैं, लेकिन उनके सामने भी इस तरह फ्लड हो रहा है जैसे वहाँ पर आप बोट लेकर चल सकते हैं। सो यस, बहुत ज़्यादा नीड है। कुछ चीज़ें क्लाइमेट के ऊपर हैं, क्योंकि अचानक से इतना सब कुछ हो जाता है, एंड कुछ चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो शायद मुझे लगता है अथॉरिटीज़ की आज एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है कि अगर कोई चार्जेस पे हो रहे हैं सो वो ऑन ग्राउंड लगने चाहिए। कोशिश की जा रही है, मुझे लगता है थोड़ा सा अगर और पुश करें, क्योंकि देखिए अल्टीमेट हम कंपेयर करते हैं चाइना से, जैसे मैंने अभी अंशुमन भी कह रहे थे, लेकिन अभी बहुत पीछे हैं। उस पीछे होने का रीज़न भी क्या है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर उनका बहुत ज़बरदस्त है। उन्होंने नेक्स्ट लेवल को अचीव किया है, पर कैपिटा इनकम ऐसे ही नहीं आई है, बहुत कुछ किया गया है उसके लिए। हमारे पास करने के लिए बहुत कुछ है, तो हम कर सकते हैं, बस केवल एक डेडिकेशन चाहिए, थोड़ा सा एक विज़न चाहिए कि ऐसा हमें करना है। और करना तो हम सबको ही है,
सबको ही है।
सभी की जिम्मेवारी है हमारी।
Absolutely. ये भी आपने बहुत अच्छे से हमें समझाया है. Anshuman, so I'm going to come to you. They say that, you know, when you have bumper to bumper traffic, it's probably a good problem to have because that's a sign of a growing economy. And rightly said so that some of the, you know, concentrated rainfall which is happening is also due to climate change. A lot of commercial buildings are office buildings have no other option but to build sustainably. But overall, have you seen global companies coming to India worry about these infrastructure gaps? They have great buildings to occupy, whether it's office or residential for their workers, but cities per se.
Absolutely. I think one of the things we need to worry about is, first of all, pollution. I know some of our clients, we said, okay, can you come in, let's say the month of November or something, you know, for a meeting here. They said, no, we're not going to enter India because now CNN, BBC, everybody, you know, shows that Delhi is one of the most polluted cities or some of the other cities. So this will, right now, because we are on a high, it will be a deterrent. And we are lucky that we have skilled manpower. So a lot of these companies, frankly, as of now, don't have a choice but to come here. However, this is not going to last, and if we don't do those basics, it will be a deterrent for investment, and actually people stop coming to India in these months. Can you imagine, and this could be some investor coming in or occupier coming in, it's a big challenge. You talked about the traffic. Again, you know, right now it's a good problem to have, but not really. The productivity, I mean, Delhi to Gurgaon, we've done everything. It used to take 1 hour, now it takes almost sometimes 2 hours to go one side. All the commercial buildings which are coming in, now the good part is hopefully with better infrastructure, the cities can be decongested. Can you imagine if there was no Gurgaon, Faridabad, Ghaziabad, what would happen to Delhi?
Oh, yes.
So,
I can't imagine.
In spite of that, in spite of the metro, and I'm talking NCR, Bangalore is similar, Mumbai has its own challenges. In spite of the metro, in spite of having Gurgaon, Faridabad, Ghaziabad circling Delhi, we still have a traffic problem here. So we need to urgently, first and foremost, I think, do something about the pollution. And this is across cities. Delhi is the worst, but across cities. And definitely have to do something on transportation because end of the day, if you remember, we won Commonwealth Games in NCR. One of the big conditions was that our transport system has to be better. And that's how the metro came in.
Our last mile connectivity has to be better also.
No, but
Desperately,
even
we have a
in the
metro. Yeah, but the last mile is missing still.
But even the metro is not fully optimized because if it was, we wouldn't have a traffic like this. And the same thing in Bangalore, other places, you have to have a more efficient metro with more frequency, whatever, where all of us sitting on this panel will say, look, we're not going to go in a car, we'll go catch a metro.
By the metro. Correct.
Like
they
you do in
say,
London.
really a developed country, you are a really good developed country with fabulous infrastructure when the richest man ditches his car and gets into a metro.
No, if you look
We
at
still don't have that.
If you look at Europe, all the people a lot of people who have cars and are even rich, they go and take public transport.
Yeah.
People here, be it older people or people who have the car, will not go in a metro in Delhi or in Mumbai and other cities. Till the time we don't get to that level, we are not going to be a global city. Public transport is the basic. Clean air is the basic. It's not even a luxury, you know.
All right, so two very big basics which we still need to fix to make this country truly a world-class global major. But I'm going to pivot a little bit with you, Madhur, and going to ask you a very simple question. Now if you see tier 2 cities, and you mentioned some of them are doing quite well, and that's also probably homes have become very expensive in large cities for a large population. Two, all of these cities, people want to avoid traffic. During COVID, they went back, they enjoyed it. If, as a corporate group in real estate, you will get land anywhere that you want. You have great funding from banks at 10, 11% or even cheaper, which everyone else struggles with. What are your growth areas? Where are you focusing to take Hero Homes?
Okay, the first thing is the funding part. Yes, we can have an advantage, but nobody wants to have anything more than this thing. So as far as this tier 2 cities are concerned, naturally, this is I would say right now people are planning to shift to tier 2 cities, but this will be short-lived. if we don't increase an infrastructure there, we all are comparing China. See, I can also share few points of China. If you see the tier 2 and tier 3 cities of China, their infrastructure, they are planning of 50 years ahead. If you compare our airport, though yes, government is putting up lot of effort in developing this infrastructure, but if you compare our tier 2 city airports with them, I would say they are much ahead of us. So if this trend has to be continued, so we have to put lot of effort on tier 2 cities infrastructure. Because currently, if this exodus to tier 2 city happen a lot, then these tier 2 cities will not be able to withstand
To
that
handle,
exodus.
right. That's
So-
also stemming their growth. I
Yeah.
mean, people, there are some people who want to live in tier 2, but there would be more people. Decongesting top cities should also be on the agenda. And that will only happen when you have great infrastructure in tier 2, tier 3 cities,
So
isn't
right now,
it?
what is happening in tier 2, those people, those who are almost at the verge of their retirement or they are planning their retirement plans, they are shifting to tier 2 cities practically. Or those who can afford their second home there, they are planning to get into there. Because they are planning ahead of their future plans, like they will be settling in small cities so that they have peaceful time there. Or those people, their kids are away right now, they are living abroad, so they are
it's a
planning for
second,
them.
yeah, so it's
Second
a
home kind of thing.
retirement or a second home,
Yeah.
but not becoming a primary destination because of infrastructure shortages,
Exactly.
which needs to be filled.
And
Or-
now another one more thing which is happening is the cities, there is a, I would say, another tourism has started, which is, I would say, temple
Religious tourism,
religious
हाँ,
tourism has started.
बिल्कुल.
So that is why Mathura, Vrindavan, Ayodhya, these places are coming up very nicely. And lot of people are coming there, they are developing those areas.
आप
to
कहाँ
have-
कहाँ जा रहे हैं?
I cannot share much, but definitely we are also
अभी तो अब
looking.
लिस्टेड भी नहीं है. अगर प्रदीप जी से पूछूं तो वो बोलेंगे मैंने अभी अनाउंस नहीं किया है, सभी में इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं भेजी है.
No, we are very aggressively, we are searching, we are very aggressively, we are looking for these
Looking
areas
for,
also. Yes, we
okay.
are very aggressive.
पैनल के बाद खबर दे देंगे. Manoj ji, what are your areas of growth? We have 5 minutes, but I would just like, which areas are you most excited about? I know that you're the king of the entire, Ghaziabad, Noida, that area. You have Prestige now coming. है ना, South से मतलब Prestige developer आ गया है, 7,000 units वहाँ पे launch करेंगे. तो आप बताइए, some growth areas for you.
अभी आने वाले टाइम के अंदर लॉट ऑफ potential is there in that market, and especially the availability of the land, because that land in Noida, Greater Noida, Yamuna Expressway is a notified
And New
land.
Noida.
And the new
वहाँ
Noida
तक भी
also.
आप चले जाएंगे.
I think the largest land bank in India is with the Yamuna Development Authority. The entire 164 kilometer expressway from Noida to Agra is their potential development. And if you need any large chunk of land, they have it. So I think that next decade, the focus is on that area also. The volume is there, the demand is there. I don't think कोई और मार्केट को अभी एक्सप्लोर करने की जरूरत है. उतनी जितनी डिमांड है उतना भी काम जो है अभी वहाँ पर नहीं कर पा रहे. अदरवाइज वैसे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ टायर 2 टायर 3 सिटीज़ की, देहरादून का एक प्रोजेक्ट प्लान्ड है और दूसरी सिटीज़ में भी आते रहते, बट मोस्टली द वर्टिकल डेवलपमेंट इन दिस सिटी एंड द हॉरिजॉन्टल डेवलपमेंट इन टायर 2 एंड टायर 3
Tier 3 cities, that's your plan. What about you?
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के ऊपर एक बात, अभी
हाँ,
लास्ट मंथ हम सिडनी में थे. द एंटायर सिडनी कन्वर्टेड इनटू 20 मिनट सिटी. फ्रॉम वन पॉइंट टू अनदर पॉइंट, किसी भी जगह को आपको 20 मिनट से ज़्यादा पहुंचने में नहीं लगेंगे. द वे दे डेवलप देयर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. तो डेफिनेटली मैं ब्लंटली भी ये कहना चाहता हूँ, जो लोग जो प्लानिंग में बैठे हैं, जो लोग मास्टर प्लान कर रहे हैं, जो सर्विसेज प्लान कर रहे हैं, वो अभी भी 20, 30, 40 साल, 50 साल, इवन अंग्रेज़ों के टाइम के जो स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं कि कितना बड़ा डाया सर्विसेज आपका सर्विसेज डलेंगी, सीवर डलेगा, इलेक्ट्रिक, वो उससे बदलना ही नहीं चाह रहे. टेक्नोलॉजी को अडॉप्टिंग, क्योंकि बजटिंग है, फिर टेंडरिंग है, फिर कोई इंक्वायरी ना हो जाए. अनटिल अनलेस प्रोफेशनल्स प्लानर्स इसके अंदर
I
नहीं
think
आएंगे.
city planning is the biggest gap which we need to.
प्लानिंग जो है वो JEAs या जूनियर इंजीनियर्स का काम नहीं है, जबकि वो सारा सब कुछ वही लोग कर रहे हैं. आई थिंक वो गवर्नमेंट को एक शिफ्ट इसके अंदर जो लेना पड़ेगा कि इनके यहाँ से ये प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट को केवल जो है अप्रूवल, जस्ट लाइक जो भी रिफॉर्म्स हुए हमारे लाइक पासपोर्ट से पासपोर्ट बनवाने के लिए हमें याद है कि क्या क्या करना पड़ता था, सिफारिश। अभी एक गवर्नमेंट का आदमी बैठा है जो उस पर केवल साइन करता है, एंड द एंटायर प्रोसेस इज सो फैंटास्टिक। इसी तरह के रिफॉर्म्स चेंजेस जो हैं हमें प्लानिंग और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्पेशली सिटीज़ को जो हम डिज़ाइन कर रहे हैं, तो यू राइटली सेड कि जब अंदर हैं अपने टाउनशिप में हैं तो बहुत अच्छा, और वहाँ से स्टेप इन बाहर करती हूँ क्योंकि दैट इज़ नॉट इन अवर कंट्रोल। तो उस चीज़ को चेंज जो करना पड़ा, बार बार चाइना से हम कंपेयर करते हैं, हम फोशान में जा रहे हैं 8 से 15 साल पहले से जी। उस टाइम जो उन्होंने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर किया, एंटायर रोड
so 50 years forward we have to plan. Unfortunately we've run out of time, but thank you so much to all of you for joining me today here on the panel. We didn't just talk about infrastructure. We actually talked about, we had some of the top leaders talking about the good of real estate and some of the things which are missing, the gaps which need to be filled up urgently, attention on cities, planning and infrastructure which is 50, 100 years ready forward and also sustainable. Gentlemen, thank you very much for making the time for NDTV Real Estate Conclave. Pleasure to have you all.
Well, our next conversation is on a topic that is vital for anyone involved in the real estate market. The big question, how safe are home buyers today with RERA in place? In this discussion, we explore the current landscape of home buyer safety under RERA, including its strengths and areas where challenges remain. We'd now like to invite on stage our guests, G. Haribabu, Anand Kumar, Sunil Tyagi, and Dr. K.K. Khandelwal. They are in conversation with NDTV's Nidhi Kulpati.
नमस्कार आप सभी को यहाँ पर उपस्थित जो लोग बैठे हैं। हर इंसान का एक सपना होता है एक अदद आशियाने का, उसे साकार करने में बहुतों का जीवन ही निकल जाता है। शहरों में तो 80% से ज़्यादा बिल्डर्स द्वारा बनाए गए फ्लैट्स का चयन कर पाते हैं। तो आज के सत्र में हम रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेशन एंड डेवलपमेंट एक्ट, जिसे रेरा भी कहा जाता है, पर चर्चा करेंगे। रेरा का मकसद रियल एस्टेट के क्षेत्र में पारदर्शिता और जिम्मेदारी को बढ़ाना है, ताकि घर खरीदने वालों के अधिकारों की सुरक्षा हो सके। ये कानून बिल्डर्स पर नज़र रखता है और उन्हें इस दिशा में सही व्यवहार का पालन करने के लिए प्रेरित भी करता है। इस सत्र में हम जानेंगे कि रेरा का होम बायर्स की सुरक्षा पर क्या प्रभाव पड़ा है और कैसे ये प्रोजेक्ट्स में देरी, मिसलीडिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन और फाइनेंशियल ट्रांसपेरेंसी जैसे सामान्य मुद्दों को इम्पैक्ट करता है। इसके साथ ही हम इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स और उन लोगों को सुनेंगे जो इस क्षेत्र से जुड़े हुए हैं और वे इस कानून के प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीकेशंस और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में चैलेंजेस के बारे में हमें जानकारी देंगे। तो हमारे साथ इस चर्चा में खास मेहमान हैं जी हरिबाबू, अध्यक्ष हैं, नमस्कार, नेशनल रियल एस्टेट डेवलपमेंट काउंसिल नरेडको के। आनंद कुमार जी हैं, अध्यक्ष हैं दिल्ली रेरा के। सुनील त्यागी हैं, पार्टनर हैं जीएस लॉ के। और साथ ही डॉक्टर के खंडेलवाल, पूर्व अध्यक्ष हैं रेरा हरियाणा गुरुग्राम के। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का आने के लिए आज इस महत्वपूर्ण हमारी कॉन्क्लेव में। तो आनंद जी, शुरुआत आपसे करती हूँ क्योंकि दिल्ली देश की राजधानी है, यहाँ पे बैठे हैं हम सब लोग और मुझे जानकर बहुत अच्छा लगा और आश्चर्य हुआ कि दिल्ली में जो रेरा है वो भी किस तरह से तेज़ गति से काम कर रहा है। आप मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट के साथ तालमेल बिठाकर और हाल में जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जो भी टिप्पणियाँ रही हैं उस पर आप जो बायर्स की चिंताएं हैं उस पर आप लोग काम कर रहे हैं। तो क्या स्थिति है, क्या आंकलन है आपका? दिल्ली के बायर्स जो आपको इस समय सुन रहे होंगे, होम बायर्स, उनसे आप क्या कहेंगे?
पहली बात तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि दिल्ली के जो बायर्स हैं कि वो कौन कौन से प्रोजेक्ट्स रेरा के अंडर रजिस्टर होने चाहिए उसके बारे में उनको पता होना चाहिए कि जैसे 500 स्क्वायर मीटर्स के ऊपर कोई भी रियल एस्टेट प्रोजेक्ट अगर डेवलप होता है या कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट जिसमें 8 यूनिट से ज़्यादा फ्लैट्स हों, शॉप्स हों, कमर्शियल स्पेस हो एट्सेट्रा, 8 यूनिट से ज़्यादा बनाई जाती हैं और वो बिक्री के लिए हों तो उन पे रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर आवश्यक है। सभी बायर्स को मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि प्लीज़ डू नॉट बाय योर रेजिडेंशियल, कमर्शियल और ऑफिशियल स्पेस in projects which are being developed over an area of more than 500 square meters or where more than 8 units are being developed without RERA registration number. अब बहुत से यहाँ पे दिल्ली में प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं जो 500 स्क्वायर मीटर्स के ऊपर promoters are not coming forward to register. और अगर प्रोजेक्ट्स में अगर रियल एस्टेट स्पेस खरीद तो के लिए एक प्रॉब्लम होगी। के पास आता है तो हम उसकी पूरी तरह से छानबीन करते हैं कि भाई जो लैंड है वो प्रमोटर के नाम पे है, वो प्रमोटर उस प्रोजेक्ट को कंप्लीट कर सकता है कि नहीं, सारे उसने क्लियरेंसेस लिए हैं कि नहीं, और उसकी हर 3 महीने में क्या प्रोग्रेस है उसकी जांच की भी व्यवस्था हमारे पास है। तो एक बार अगर प्रोजेक्ट हमारे पास रजिस्टर हो जाता है तो ये सिर्फ हमारी एक ड्यूटी ही नहीं पर ये हमारी एक वो it is mandatory for us to ensure that the project is implemented in time and buyer's money is safe.
तो ये तो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात आपने कही कि किस तरह से कई कितने डेवलपर्स हैं या प्रमोटर्स हैं नए सामने आ रहे हैं, कैसे आप सुनिश्चित कर रहे हैं इसे दिल्ली में? क्योंकि क्या आपके पास टीम्स हैं? क्योंकि रेरा के मजबूती को लेकर या क्रियान्वयन को लेकर अगर सवाल उठे हैं, हम सब जानते हैं, तो आप उसको दिल्ली में मजबूती कैसे ला रहे हैं अपनी इस पूरी वर्क को?
देखिए, हम थ्रू वेरियस सेमिनार्स, वेरियस forums, we are trying to impress upon the builders that wherever they need to register project with us, they must come forward and register project with us. And this is not only for the safety of the buyers, but is in their self-interest also. Suppose tomorrow they are not getting completion certificate in time, they can come to us and say that completion certificate is not being given by the civic authorities to us, so we can intervene in that. Or suppose they have taken a land from DDA and that land is not good, so promoter is an allottee of the DDA. And then we can question DDA that why right kind of plot has not been given to them. So it is in the interest of the promoters, buyers and real estate agents and various stakeholders that all the projects are registered with us and people buy only in the registered projects. And there are more, and in Delhi, unfortunately, there is a lot of unauthorized development.
Okay.
And in unauthorized colonies, people are making flats and making floors, and they are being sold. And buyers, they are not aware whether they should be registered with RERA or not. And then they unknowingly go and buy property there. And in case they are misled, then they are into deep trouble because they say that.
चलिए आगे आप किस तरह से कार्रवाई करेंगे उस पर आएंगे हम आगे। हमारे साथ जी हरि बाबू अध्यक्ष हैं नरेटको के। थैंक यू सो मच सर। आप एक वो पक्ष हैं जो बिल्डर्स का पक्ष रखते हैं और पूरे देश भर में दक्षिण भारत के भी आप हमें जानकारी देंगे। यू विल टेल अस। Trust is a very important thing for a home buyer. You know, builders are of course are there, but you know, a home buyer invests all his money earned through his life in a flat. But then many issues are there, especially possession is a very big issue. We even see that the builders also go through a lot of trouble at times due to the clearances they need to seek. What are the challenges that you have seen, your assessment of the situation right now?
Thank you for this question. First thing is, you know, the complaints and the delays, particularly on RERA projects in South India, particularly Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, compared to the North India, it is very, very low. So that is because maybe our builders are already, we are giving a 10% mortgage, irrespective of the RERA. We are giving 10% of the total built-up area as mortgage to the local urban development authority. And if any deviations, if anything is there, they will take away the 10%. So what we make the profit is 7 to 8%. 10% of the area if they take away, our means we go to the negative.
ये हम आगे सुनील जी से समझेंगे ये सिचुएशन को बाद में आगे. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is already in existing.
Yeah.
So now, after RERA coming into the picture, the trust between the developer and purchase member, has changed quite a lot. Before 2015, 2016 is different. After RERA, resume is completely different. So there are still some complaints. Complaints from the builder side, complaints from the customer side. So we have recently, there are about 6,000 complaints are pending in MahaRERA. Out of 6,000 complaints, we have already resolved through our consultations this thing, more than 1,700, 1,800 numbers. So between the two people, just negotiate and finalize.
आपका ये कहना है कि दक्षिण भारत में इतनी ज़्यादा बायर्स को प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, इसको हम थोड़ा सा आगे समझेंगे और गहराई से। खंडेलवाल जी आपसे, क्योंकि आप हरियाणा के रेरा के पूर्व अध्यक्ष रह चुके हैं, आपका क्या आंकलन है? देखिए 2016 में रेरा बना, इसका बहुत स्वागत हुआ, लेकिन पिछले 2 साल में मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग डेवलपमेंट को एक कमेटी बनाई गई, फिर हम देखते हैं पब्लिक फोरम, एक बायर्स फोरम भी बना अपने आप में, कोर्ट के भी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के भी दिशा निर्देश आए। मैं आपसे ये समझना चाहती हूँ हरियाणा में किस तरह से हमने डेवलपमेंट देखा है, खासतौर से गुरुग्राम का जो डेवलपमेंट देखा है, लेकिन पोजेशन को लेकर समस्याएं बनी हुई हैं, वो कम नहीं हो रही।
सबसे पहले तो मैं ये बतलाना चाहूँगा आपको कि जब रेरा नहीं था तो लोगों का भरोसा भी नहीं था। 2016 में जब रेरा आया, 2017 में जब फुली रोल आउट हो गया रेरा, और आज रेरा को आए हुए 7 वर्ष हो गए, तो रेरा है तो भरोसा है। और उसकी सबसे बड़ी ताकीद ये है कि जब रेरा आया था तब यदि रजिस्टर्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स का और कंप्लेंट्स फाइल्ड का रेशो देखें तो 1:50 to 1:60 रेशो जाता था। जब रेरा आज 7 साल हो गए हैं, पूरे कंट्री में 1,01,000 प्रोजेक्ट रजिस्टर्ड हैं, 1,06,000 के करीब कंप्लेंट डिस्पोज अप हो चुकी हैं, करीब 2 लाख के करीब कंप्लेंट पेंडिंग है, यानी 1 रजिस्टर्ड प्रोजेक्ट के अगेंस्ट में 3 कंप्लेंट्स। तो रेरा के आने से जो इनडिसिप्लिन बिल्डर था उसमें डिसिप्लिन कायम हुआ है, कंप्लेंट्स में कमी आई है। ये कंप्लेंट्स भी है, पुरानी कंप्लेंट ज़्यादा हैं जब रेरा नहीं था, और जो प्रोजेक्ट ऑनगोइंग प्रोजेक्ट थे। एक बात मैं जो कि बहुत ज़रूरी समझता हूँ यहाँ बतलाना आपको, गुड़गांव और दिल्ली के बारे में बहुत सत्य है। गुड़गांव में करीब 5,000 प्लॉट्स ऐसे हैं जहाँ बिल्डर्स इंडिविजुअल फ्लोर्स बना रहे हैं, 180 गज से लेकर के 500 गज तक के, क्योंकि रेरा लागू होता है 500 गज के बाद। दिल्ली भी, यदि दिल्ली में देखा है तो 80% जो है, जो बिल्डिंग एक्टिविटी है वो इन प्लॉट्स पर है जो 500 गज से कम के हैं, और इन लोगों की रेरा में जो कि रजिस्ट्रेशन रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है, तो ये लोग बेचारे रेरा के जो बेनिफिट्स मिलने थे उससे वंचित रह जाते हैं। एप्रोप्रिएट गवर्नमेंट्स को कई बार लिखा गया है, रेरा एक्ट में प्रोविजन है कि 500 गज से ज़्यादा का रजिस्टर नहीं कराना, 8 से कम फ्लैट से रजिस्टर नहीं कराना, लेकिन एप्रोप्रिएट गवर्नमेंट चाहे तो इस लिमिट को कम कर सकती है। दिल्ली और गुड़गांव के मामले में ये लिमिट 200 गज, और फ्लैट्स के मामले में 3 या 4 फ्लैट्स, क्योंकि 4 स्टोरी अलाउड है। गुड़गांव में 4 स्टोरीज के कारण ज़्यादा इस तरीके के प्लॉट्स पर कंस्ट्रक्शन आ रही है।
लेकिन खंडेलवाल जी, अनियमितताएं तो बहुत आती हैं। अब रेरा में अगर कोई कंप्लेंट भी फाइल करना चाहे, फीस अलग अलग राज्यों में अलग अलग है। दिल्ली हरियाणा में शायद 1000 रुपये है, और अगर हम महाराष्ट्र की बात करें तो 5000 रुपये है। मैं अगर बिल्डर के बायर के पर्सपेक्टिव से ही आपसे बात करना पूछूं तो एक खबर हमारी सहयोगी मनीषा ने मुझे आज दी कि किस तरह से हरियाणा में अगर रेरा ने, जो अथॉरिटी है, उसने बायर्स का जो पैसा है करीब 1000 करोड़ के ऊपर था जो देना था बायर्स का पैसा, उसमें से जो रेरा अथॉरिटी वो सिर्फ 233 करोड़ ही वापस कर पाई। बहुत कम बायर्स को। 200 के करीब बिल्डर्स के करीब प्रमोटर्स के खिलाफ अगर अरेस्ट वारंट था तो वो भी लागू नहीं हो पाया। तो जो ये चिंताएं हैं, इफ़ेक्टिवनेस ऑफ रेरा, ठीक है, आया बहुत ज़रूरी था जैसे आप कह रहे हैं, लेकिन इसकी इफ़ेक्टिवनेस उस पर तो हम सब जानते हैं, सवाल हैं, उसको कैसे दुरुस्त करेंगे? आपके क्या विचार?
देखिएगा मैडम, कानून की जब पालना करनी होती है ना, जिन्होंने कानून लागू करना होता है ना, उन लोगों की दृष्टिकोण पर डिपेंड करता है। रेरा कानून के अंतर्गत सेक्शन 40 जो है, सेक्शन 40 में बड़ी भारी सख्ती दी गई है, 2 सख्तियाँ। यदि मॉनिटरी रिकवरी है तो एरियर्स ऑफ लैंड रेवेन्यू की तरह रिकवरी की जाएगी। और एरियर्स ऑफ लैंड रेवेन्यू की रिकवरी मतलब में क्या है? पहली बार इस कंट्री में प्राइवेट आदमी का जो रिकवरी है वो गवर्नमेंट की रिकवरी के एट पार लाई गई है। यदि आप में ताकत हो, रेरा यदि कहीं सख्ती से कार्रवाई करे तो उस बिल्डर को 14 दिन अंदर डाल सकती है। मजाल नहीं है कि बिल्डर पैसा ना दे, और बिल्डरों ने पैसा दिया है, डिसिप्लिन में आए हैं। दूसरी पावर है उसके पास, यदि रेरा ने कोई डायरेक्शन दी है तो सेक्शन 40 का जो सब सेक्शन 2 है वो उसको सिविल कोर्ट की पावर देता है कि आप सिविल कोर्ट की तरह अपने उस आदेश की पालना करा सकते हैं। और ऐसे बहुत सारे मामले हैं जहाँ जब पालना नहीं की उसने रेरा के कानून की, तो बिल्डर्स के साथ सख्त कार्रवाई भी की गई और अरेस्ट भी किए गए हैं। हम लोगों ने अपने समय पर बिल्डर्स को पालना न करने पर जेल भी भेजा है। यदि कोई बिल्डर अच्छा है, रेरा का सिद्धांत होना चाहिए, आप अच्छा करेंगे छेड़ेंगे नहीं, और आप यदि गलत करेंगे तो छोड़ेंगे नहीं। यदि उस कार्रवाई पे रेरा काम करती है तो कोई मजाल नहीं है कि बिल्डर्स के जो अलॉटीज हैं उनके हक की सुरक्षा नहीं हो।
बिल्कुल, ये बिल्कुल इच्छा शक्ति की बात जो आपने कही। सुनील, जब आप पे आते हैं और आपसे फिर मैं बात करूंगी जो बायर्स की अपनी परेशानी है। रेरा जब हमारा आया था तो एक तरह से ट्रांसपेरेंसी की बात थी, पोजेशन टाइम पर मिले उसकी बात थी, जिस तरह से जो प्री लॉन्चेस एडवर्टाइजमेंट्स होते हैं उस पर बैन की बात थी, लेकिन वो सब शायद नहीं इतना हो पाता है, जो भी अलग अलग स्टेट्स में अलग अलग परिस्थितियां होती हैं। बायर को कैसे अपने आप को वो सुनिश्चित करे आज की स्थिति में? जो भी है, तमाम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट भी खड़ा हुआ है ना, और साथ में हम देख रहे हैं कोर्ट में भी मामला चला गया है, लेकिन कैसे वो अपना सेफ गार्ड करे, पहले आप ये बताइए।
जैसा कि अभी आनंद जी ने भी कहा, खंडेलवाल साहब ने भी कहा, बायर को भी अपनी अवेयरनेस बढ़ानी होगी। कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट अगर रेरा में रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है, कोई भी प्री लॉन्च हो रहा है, एडवर्टीजमेंट्स आ रहे हैं, उनकी कंप्लेंट्स करें रेरा अथॉरिटीज़ में, और अगर रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं है तो बिल्कुल ना खरीदें। अभी भी ऐसा होता है, सॉफ्ट लॉन्च के नाम से या एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट के नाम से बड़े बड़े बिल्डर तक कई बार एड्स निकालते हैं। अब वो डायरेक्ट नहीं आते हैं, ब्रोकर्स के थ्रू आते हैं। अब वो डायरेक्ट बिल्डर्स खुद कर रहे हैं या ब्रोकर्स कर रहे हैं, मेरे को नहीं मालूम, लेकिन अभी भी एड्स आते हैं, क्योंकि हम लोगों के पास भी रोज़ सारा दिन SMS आते हैं जिनसे हम सब परेशान हैं। पर सॉफ्ट लॉन्च होते हैं, इसको बिल्कुल बायर को बुकिंग नहीं लेनी चाहिए। बायर भी ग्रीडी हो जाते हैं कई बार कि अभी कम प्राइस पे मिल रहा है, 6 महीने बाद बहुत अच्छा प्राइस मिलेगा, ऐसी बातों में वो अभी भी फंस जाते हैं। इन बातों से दूर रहना है। अगर रेरा में प्रोजेक्ट रजिस्टर्ड नहीं है, बिल्कुल हाथ नहीं डालना है। अगर ये सारे बायर फॉलो कर लें तो प्री लॉन्च अपने आप ही बंद हो जाएंगे हमारे हिसाब से।
बिल्कुल। और साथ में कई होम बायर्स हैं, उनकी प्रॉब्लम हमने देखा किस तरह से बायर्स एसोसिएशंस बनी हैं, हमने देखा है पब्लिक फोरम्स बने हैं जिन्होंने बायर्स का पक्ष सामने रखा है। उनका सबसे बड़ी चिंता पोजेशन को लेकर होती है। साल दर साल दशक निकल जाते हैं, पोजेशन नहीं मिल पाता है। उस लिहाज से परेशानियां बढ़ जाती हैं और एक जो हमारा लोग निर्भर भी हैं बिल्डर्स के फ्लैट पे रहने पर, लेकिन उनको जो इंतज़ार है बहुत उनको कंगाल सा एक तरह से कर देता है। क्या कर सकते हैं?
ऐसे जो कंप्लेंट्स हैं, प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, ज़्यादातर प्री रेरा वाले हैं जो पहले ही कंप्लीट नहीं हो पाए, वो आज तक कंप्लीट कुछ हो रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं हो पाए। लेकिन रेरा आने के बाद में जो प्रोजेक्ट शुरू हुए हैं उनमें काफ़ी कंट्रोल है, क्योंकि एग्रीमेंट इन प्लेस हैं। डाइवर्जन ऑफ फंड्स बिल्कुल कंट्रोल हो गया है, क्योंकि पूरा मॉनिटर किया जाता है पैसा कहाँ जा रहा है, कोई साइफनिंग ऑफ नहीं हो सकती। ऑक्यूपेंसी जब तक नहीं आ जाता है पोजेशन ऑफर नहीं कर सकते हैं। सो मैक्सिमम कंप्लेंट जो आज पोजेशन की अभी रह गई हैं वो मैक्सिमम जो हैं प्री रेरा प्रोजेक्ट्स की हैं। रेरा आने के बाद जो प्रोजेक्ट्स आए हैं उनमें ऐसी कंप्लेंट्स बहुत कम हैं, अदरवाइज ऐसी कंप्लेंट्स नहीं हैं मेरी नॉलेज के अंदर।
जी श्री Hari Babuji, the question that I would like to ask you is that it's often said that certain builders who have defaulted or who have delayed, in spite of all that, RERA was supposed to keep a check on that. But they've been little lenient towards some developers. Is it so? And how's the situation?
Repeat?
Lenient towards the builders who have defaulted.
I doubt. There is no lenience at all about the builder now.
Okay.
All the chairpersons of RERA are hunting the builders. Actually, every day they are monitoring. There is no question of lenience about a particular builder or particular community. RERA is meant for actually development also. Actually, now they are only regulating. The development part still pending from the RERA side after even 7 years later also. I will tell you one small thing how the RERA chairmen are doing. In Odisha, we have to keep 70% of the separate account, money, whatever they're receiving from the customers, 70% we have to keep in the bank account. After OC, we are eligible to take that money. 4 months back, RERA chairman has sent a circulation. All the 70% remaining after construction, whatever the money is there, you should keep that money for 5 years in the same account. Can you believe that? That means not only our profits, some of the land cost and all these things.
Talking about Odisha here.
Odisha. And then we at NAREDCO, we represented to the chairman. Finally, it has come just 4 days back, another circular, saying, okay, so not all the money, we keep 1% of the turnover of the company. That means each 1 crore of the apartment, we have to keep 1 lakh. That means if somebody is doing 1,000 apartments, 1,000 flats, 110 crores, he has to keep it for in the account for 5 years. So this shows all the RERA chairmen.
So Odisha could be a leading example for
Yeah,
many
one
states.
state do, the next state will follow, another state will follow, another state will follow. This is only for the guarantees and warranties of the next 5 years. See, we have a lot of track record. This is not only first project or this thing. Lot of builders are now, they are having bank accounts, their income tax SSCs, and they have the good balance sheets. But still keeping idle money of 10 crores from every builder, or 5 crores, 10 crores like that. How much money it will accumulate? It is huge money.
Yeah.
That means actually we are short of the funds. And again, for one project profit also, because once we normally get about 7 to 8% profit in any project, in that we have to pay 3% to the government as an income tax. Another 1% have to keep it in a bank account.
Yeah.
So that makes availability of the funds to the builder is getting reduced. So there is no question of lenience. Actually, now my request is actually on behalf of the builders, we need lot of controls. Actually, everybody is regulating us, but who is supporting us?
चलिए इसी पे आनंद जी के पास आते हैं। आनंद जी, जो श्री बाबूजी ने उड़ीसा की जिक्र की, या उन्होंने शुरुआत में दक्षिण भारत और उत्तर भारत के बारे में बात की कि ज़्यादा कंप्लेंट्स नहीं हैं। आपका क्या असेसमेंट है? आप तो नज़र रखते ही होंगे, क्या ऐसी सिचुएशन है और कहाँ पे हम इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं?
देखिए, जैसे मिस्टर खंडेलवाल ने कहा कि जो ज़्यादातर कंप्लेंट्स हैं दैट इज़ फ्रॉम द प्री रेरा इरा, and especially in Delhi, most of the complaints we are dealing with are from the land pooling projects. आपको याद होगा 2013-14 में एक लैंड पूलिंग पॉलिसी के बारे में खबर आई थी और लोगों ने कहा कि हम यहाँ पे द्वारका में जो एयरपोर्ट है उसके पास में हम लैंड लेंगे और आपको घर देंगे. सो बहुत सारे फ्लाई बाय नाइट ऑपरेटर्स ने लोगों से पैसा लिया जो 20 लाख से 30 लाख रुपए के बीच में, और वो सब लोग ने ज़मीन खरीदी नहीं खरीदी बिकॉज दे वर not the project which was conceived the right manner. And they were the projects which were conceived without the land being proper, which could have been utilized for the residential projects. जब land ही नहीं तो project कहाँ से आएगा? तो ज़्यादातर हमारे पास जो complaints हैं 95-96% of the complaints are from the land pooling era. अब हमारे पास दो option थी कि या तो हम कहें भाई ये projects जो थे ये हमारे पास registered नहीं थे इसलिए हम ये complaint नहीं सुनेंगे. We could have taken that view. And second is, these projects could have been registered with us क्योंकि ये तो complete नहीं है और इसमें जो promoter है उसने गलती की है तो इसलिए हम complaint सुनेंगे.
तो आपकी सबसे बड़ी चिंता यही है कि रजिस्टर नहीं कर रहे हैं ज़्यादातर.
हमारी ये अब ये तो पुरानी complaints के बारे में और जहाँ पे and I'm saying that people who were having the land pooling projects also, some of them are paying back to the buyer. So this is only because the RERA order.
That is very encouraging.
So that is because the RERA order.
Buyers,
And
paying back to the buyers is very, very important to build the trust. जिसकी बात होती है. मेरी सहयोगी मनीषा हमारे साथ यहाँ बैठी हुई हैं ऑडियंस में. मनीषा, आप कुछ सवाल पूछना चाह रही थी.
अरे सवाल है. सबसे पहले तो I would like to ask you, Mr. Babu, that the developer body has always had this right complaint that, you know, RERA is controlling or disciplining the developer community, but there is absolutely no accountability of local urban bodies, right? So if there are approval delays, it still falls on the developer to pay the home buyer. Have you taken that to Ministry of Housing and Urban Development? You have one former but of course very influential and current RERA chairperson, and ask them that when will be the time that we can hold ULBs and government authorities also accountable because they have an important role?
Yes, exactly. We're all our problems we have raised. Thank you. Thing is basically, okay, forget about the other departments. In some of the states, even RERA registration, after all the approvals, after paying all the money, it takes about 6 to 9 months. Is it worth to say we are all talking about responsibility, ease of doing business, and regulators, but some places it's taking 6 months for just registration, and no one, not even one project was rejected so far. But still, why 6 months? What we are asking is, the moment we pay the advance money to the thing and the UDA gives the approval to us, immediately we should have on paper. For example, if you take the Telangana, we are luckiest people. Within 2 weeks, we get the registration.
कहाँ 6 महीने, कहाँ 2 हफ्ते.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very important.
So, between the RERA state to state itself, 15 days, 3 months, 6 months, some cases I know 7-8 months also.
आनंद जी, वाकई में ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात है कि हम बायर्स की बात तो करते हैं, बिल्डर्स की भी अपनी चुनौतियाँ होती हैं जो रजिस्टर नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन जो रजिस्ट्री कर रहे हैं, जो रेरा के उसमें आते हैं या जो नियम है उनके फॉलो कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए भी बहुत बड़ी चुनौती है. एक तो अर्बन लोकल बॉडी से परमिशन लेना, साथ में जो अन्य एजेंसीज़ हैं, अगर कई महीने लग जाते हैं तो जो हम विकास का हमारा एजेंडा है या डेवलपमेंट क्वालिटी जो देना है उसमें उनका भी बहुत खामियाजा होता है.
देखिए, अभी जो मनीषा ने क्वेश्चन किया है, जो आपने कहा है, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ है. अभी जो रेरा के पास जो पावर्स है अंडर द रियल एस्टेट रेगुलेशन डेवलपमेंट एक्ट, कि रेरा सिर्फ या तो प्रमोटर को डायरेक्शन दे सकता है या रियल एस्टेट एजेंट को और या फिर अलॉटीज़ को, बट इट कैन नॉट गिव any direction to any other agency, which is missing, and that is a must. We must get that RERA must be given that power, that they should be able to give directions to civic authorities also, so that project is completed in time, in the interest of the project, because project has been registered by us. If completion certificate is not coming for 4 months, how can I deliver the project? But when I give it to MCD doesn't reply. So RERA should be given powers to give directions to all stakeholders who are connected with completion of the project. This is one. Number two, when an application is received in RERA, if it is incomplete in all respects, and I have said publicly, if it is complete in all respects, I will give registration within 15 days. But the developers, when they submit application, there are a lot of deficiencies. And to cure those deficiencies, they take months. And for me, the problem is that I cannot approve a project which is deficient in some of the clearances because the faith of buyer is on my registration. And my registration should be such that it should be equivalent to a bankable check. If you are buying a property on considering RERA registration in Delhi, it should be as good as that there will be no problem in getting possession of the flat ever.
Absolutely, this is very very important जो आपने कहा है. बिल्डर्स की भी चुनौतियाँ आती हैं. आपसे खंडेलवाल जी, आप क्या सुझाव देंगे अंत में? अब सबसे मैं आपसे सवाल ये पूछूंगी कि रेरा में विश्वास और बढ़े जैसा भी काम चल रहा है, और क्या सुझाव आप, क्योंकि जो कमेटी भी बनी है, जो सरकार की तरफ से कमेटी बनी है, या ये भरोसा ज़्यादा और बेहतर हो जाए बायर्स का और बिल्डर्स को भी सहूलियत मिले?
देखिएगा, जब से रेरा बना है, रेरा कानून पर बहुत सारी बातचीत होती रही है. ये न तो फुल कोड है जो कि सारी प्रॉब्लम्स को एड्रेस करता हो, बिल्डर्स की, बायर्स की, एजेंट्स की. तो ये एक्ट जो है इनकम्प्लीट एक्ट है. तो गवर्नमेंट इस एक्ट को जितना जल्दी हो सके उतना जल्दी इसको कंप्लीटनेस की ओर ले जाए, नंबर एक. नंबर दो, दिस एक्ट इज फुल ऑफ डेफिशिएंसीज, फुल ऑफ डिफेक्ट्स. हरी बाबू जी ने एक बात कही, पहले मैं उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करना बड़ा जरूरी समझता हूँ कि यदि बिल्डर्स ने सारे कागज पूरे कर दिए हैं तो नेरेडको के फोरम पर भी, क्रेडाई के फोरम पर भी, बिल्डर्स की एसोसिएशन के फोरम पर भी ये बात रेरा चेयरमैन द्वारा लगातार कही जाती रही है. और हमारा चैलेंज है जब हम थे कि यदि कभी भी सारे कागज पूरे हैं तो 15 मिनट में रजिस्टर नंबर दिया है हमने और 1 घंटे में सर्टिफिकेट दिया है. क्योंकि डेफिशिएंसी पेपर्स में होती है, पेपर्स में डेफिशिएंसी होने के कारण आप रजिस्टर नहीं कर पाते. लेकिन ऐसे एग्जाम्पल भी होंगे, हरी बाबू जी सही है, क्योंकि पूरा ऑल इंडिया का तजुर्बा है इनका, कि जहाँ फॉर्मेलिटीज पूरी ना हो या होने के बावजूद भी रजिस्ट्रेशन पर डिले हो जाते हैं. रजिस्ट्रेशन शुड बी मेड ईजी, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. एक जो बहुत बड़ी मैं समस्या जिसको कहता हूँ गवर्नमेंट को टैकल करना चाहिए, जरूरी है. एक तो आनंद जी ने कहा, एक तरीका तो है कि रेरा अपने कानून के हाथ लंबे खींचते जाए, कानून में जो लिखा है उसको ऐसा इंटरप्रेट करे कि लगे कि उसकी पावर है. सेक्शन 37 है रेरा का. एक सेक्शन 37 कहता है कि रेरा इस कानून को लागू करने के लिए बिल्डर को, रियल एस्टेट एजेंट को और बायर को कोई भी डायरेक्शन दे सकती है और वो बाइंडिंग होगी टू ऑल कंसर्न. वर्ड यूज किया उसमें, टू ऑल कंसर्न. ऑल कंसर्न एनकम्पासेस इवन अदर एजेंसीज, क्योंकि एक्सटर्नल डेवलपमेंट का काम मोस्टली लोकल बॉडीज़ के द्वारा या गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा किया जाता है और उस डेफिनेशन में प्रमोटर में उनको कवर किया जा सकता है. लेकिन वो बहुत बड़ी आउटरीच होगी. अभी ज़रूरत इस चीज़ की है कि जो कमेटियाँ बनी हैं बहुत सारी, रेरा के जो चेयरमैन्स का जो एक रेरा फोरम बना हुआ है, रेरा फोरम ने भी अपनी ओर से बहुत सारे उनको सजेशंस दिए सरकार को, लेकिन 7 सालों में एक भी अमेंडमेंट नहीं हो पाया आज तक. 7 साल तक लोग इंतजार करते रहे. हम लोग पहले साल में थे तो सोचा कि अगले साल तक अमेंडमेंट हो जाएगा, फिर 1 साल के बाद लगा अब 2 साल में हो जाएगा. हमें रिटायर हुए भी 2 साल हो गए, अब भी वही स्थिति है. कमेटी बन रही है, एक बनी हुई है सेंट्रल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल. सेंट्रल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल टीथलेस बॉडी है. वहाँ बड़े बड़े कई मीटिंग हो चुकी हैं उसकी. बड़े बड़े वहाँ बिल्डर्स के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव भी हैं, उसमें बायर्स के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव भी हैं, उसमें गवर्नमेंट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव भी हैं, मिनिस्ट्रीज भी हैं. वहाँ सारे डिस्कशंस होते हैं. हर बार होता है कि साहब अब की बार 6 महीने के अंदर अंदर जो सजेशंस आए हैं इनको इनकॉर्पोरेट करके कानून में बदलाव कर देंगे. 10 मीटिंगें होली, डाक के 3 बात की हुई बात रही कि अभी तक कुछ हुआ नहीं. जरूरत आज है कि रेरा कानून पर कॉम्प्रहेंसिव तरीके से गवर्नमेंट एग्रेसिवली वर्क करे और एग्रेसिव वर्क करने के बाद इसमें अमेंडमेंट लाए ताकि लोगों को ज़्यादा रिलीफ मिल सके. आज जो आपकी बात सही है, बहुत सारे मामलों में जहाँ कार्रवाई नहीं होती है ना, वहाँ आदमी का विश्वास उठता है संस्थानों से. IBC, उधर से कंज्यूमर कोर्ट्स, तीनों के होने के बावजूद भी आज एलओटी फिर भी ये महसूस नहीं कर सकता कि उसका लगाया हुआ पैसा जो है वो सुरक्षित है, और सुरक्षित है भी। एक नई समस्या हो रही है यहाँ एनसीआर में, मालूम नहीं साउथ में कितनी है। हमारे पास फॉर्मल कंप्लेंट तो अलग पार्ट होगी, इनफॉर्मल कंप्लेंट आती है। ये जब बिल्डर्स वो करते हैं अपनी ओर से, वो प्री लॉन्च करते हैं, तो उसमें आधा पैसा ले लेते हैं नंबर 2 का।
बिल्कुल।
अब वो आदमी आता है हमारे पास, कहता है मेरा पैसा रिफंड करा दो। बोला जितना दिया उतना ही रिफंड कर दो, ब्याज तो छोड़ देता हूँ मैं।
बिल्कुल, सुनील जी पे आते हैं इस बात पे, इसी बात पर सुनील जी पे आते हैं। सुनील, आपको एक तो बिल्डर्स का पक्ष भी है लेकिन बायर्स का पक्ष भी है, क्या अब हम दुरुस्त कर सकते हैं? जैसे खंडेलवाल जी ने सुझाव दिए, आपके क्या सुझाव होंगे?
मेरा मानना यह है, जैसे अभी आनंद जी ने कहा, हमारे को और पावर्स चाहिए जब अदर एजेंसीज को डायरेक्शन दी जा सकें। आपने भी मेंशन किया जैसे एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ ऑर्डर्स है, सर ने बोला लैंड रेवेन्यू की तरह से रिकवर हो सकते हैं, लेकिन रिकवर हो नहीं पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि जिसने एजेंसी ने रिकवर करना है वो रेरा के अंडर वहीं नहीं बैठी हुई, आउटसाइड रेरा एजेंसी है, जिसपे ऑलरेडी कई अदर काम भी दिए गए हैं। अगर उनको आप अंडर रेरा अलग सेक्शन बनाएं, अदर सेक्शन बनाएं एग्जीक्यूशन के लिए, देन दिस विल बी ए मोर पावर विद द रेरा अथॉरिटी, एग्जीक्यूशन ज़्यादा अच्छा हो जाएगा। यूनिफॉर्मिटी अगर लाएं हम, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस जो हैं हर स्टेट रेगुलेटर की, हम वो नॉलेज में लाएं, सबका एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम हो एंड सब वो प्रैक्टिसेस अडॉप्ट करें। कई जगह पे डिफरेंसेस आते हैं, कहीं कहते हैं इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोजेक्ट कवर होगा, कहीं कहते हैं नहीं होगा, ये सारी चीज़ें अलग अलग जजमेंट्स भी आती हैं। लेकिन सेंट्रल एडवाइजरी काउंसिल या कोई काउंसिल हो जहाँ ये सारे थॉट प्रोसेस एक जैसे हों और एक जैसा थॉट प्रोसेस चले। बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस में हम देखें किसकी अच्छी वेबसाइट है, किसके अच्छे रेगुलेशंस हैं, वो फॉलो हों। हर स्टेट के आज की डेट में सेपरेट वेबसाइट हैं, आपको एक जैसी वेबसाइट नहीं मिलेगी, एक ही तरह से इन्फॉर्मेशन लेने का तरीका नहीं है।
स्टैंडर्डाइज होना चाहिए,
स्टैंडर्डाइज
होना चाहिए, यही उम्मीद थी पहले जब रेरा बना था। बाबू साहब, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा था कि ये रिहैबिलिटेशन सेंटर फॉर रिटायर्ड ब्यूरोक्रेट्स बन गया है, लेकिन व्हाट आर योर सजेशंस टुडे so that the picture overall in the country improves for the buyers and the builders?
See, what we are doing as an NAREDCO is actually we are conducting the various sessions and conferences to make the builders itself self-regulatory. Yes, self-regulatory. Not only self-regulatory for the builders, also to the agents, because some of the places, most of the places, agents are the misguiding our buyers. So, and also we are also giving some training classes to the professionals also, like chartered accountants, chartered engineers, and all these people also. See, we are conducting every 3 to 4 months, one session all over India, and different people are giving the training, what not do, do's and do nots. So with this, the transparency levels are increasing, and the customers' trust is increasing, and our self-regulation also is increasing. So this is the practices from our NAREDCO. We want to continue for another, as long as possible, because new people are coming, new developers are coming, new agents are coming. So it is a continuous process to give them a good training.
There's a question for you, sir. What can be done to improve RERA? To improve RERA, to improve RERA.
To improve the real estate?
Yeah.
Oh, it is a very big question, but I don't know how much time you will give to me. Yeah, she's telling is only this much, the question is this big, and answer is only this thing. Basically, today, 37 crores population is staying in the urban population here. From this 37 crores, 2047, we are assuming 80 crores. That means more than double. So, these cities are actually, Hyderabad is designed for 4 lakh people. Now it is 1.2 crore. Same roads, same thing, little bit of expansion, 5 feet expansion, 10 feet expansion. The car tracks have become the roads have become the bigger roads. But are we going to take this entire next 43 crores people in same urban areas? Can we really do it? The land costs have gone up already. The land cost nearly some of the cities is 400 crores, 500 crores per square yard, acre. And square feet cost is coming between 14,000 rupees to 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh. Where is the affordability? You are killing the complete affordability of the city. And also the pollution levels, noise levels, traffic jams, not only traffic jams, air traffic jams also taking place nowadays.
Manisha has a question for you.
Okay. We've discussed a lot of it in panel 1. So, Mr. Babu, I'm going to ask you just one question. To circumvent the delayed possession aspect, builders are now, they register a project in 2024 and say that they will complete it in 2031, 7 years. So the timeline, which would take 3 years just to keep themselves safe for not having to pay any delayed charges to home buyers, they are taking registration dates of 5-7 years later. Do you think that is okay? I truly have that concern that just because you cannot, and should RERA not put a, some sort of a time limit that if this is the square foot that a builder is developing, then he must complete it in either 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Up to 7 years tak chala gaya, sir.
When an axe is behind my neck, I want to save my life.
25 years has been quoted.
No.
25 years have been quoted by a reputed builder in Gurgaon.
Those are very rare case of rarest cases. Yeah. About at present scenario, see, we are now controlled by so many agencies. If there is a small delay, for example, we give actually in 4 years, but on paper we keep it 6 years. Yeah. It is not intention to give it 6 years. Our intention is to complete the project as early as possible and take the money and go to some other project. No builder doesn't want to stay with longer time with any builder. See, please understand there are more than 1 lakh developers are there in entire India. What is the black sheep? We are talking about 3,000 people, 2,000 people, 1,000 people. See, you are always talking about the black sheep of they have done like this, they have done like this, they have done like this. But 97,000 people have done good job for the society. You are not appreciating those 97. Where did we come? All the housing boards are failed. You know very well. See, let the housing boards also become the competitor to us. Let them also follow the same RERA rules.
Sure,
let them construct.
Sure,
let be the competitor to us.
Yes.
We are not appreciating the 98% people of the developers who are contributing to the society more than 7% of
Mr.
GDP.
Hari Babu, they are buying. Right now, there is a line in every office to buy apartments. So there is appreciation,
yes.
but it is our job to ask the hard questions.
Yes.
Even 5,000 home buyers, if they don't get their homes, it's their life savings.
Yes.
It is unfortunate. See, any business is unfortunate. Buyer having paid the money, not getting the home is definitely the builder has to be punished. And already some people are in the jail.
We are just hoping that things will improve. And last question, Anand ji, आपसे एक तो घर समय पर मिले वो है प्रायोरिटी और साथ में क्वालिटी भी रहे क्वालिटी भी बहुत सुनिश्चित करनी बहुत ज़रूरी है अंत में कंक्लूडिंग रिमार्क्स संक्षेप में आपसे
देखिए घर समय पे मिले ये सिर्फ अलॉटीज़ की ही चिंता नहीं है चिंता सिर्फ रेरा की भी है बिकॉज जब हम रजिस्टर करते हैं किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट के वी ऑल्सो बिकम अकाउंटेबल कि प्रोजेक्ट टाइम पे हो अदरवाइज यू कैन आस्क मी व्हाट रेरा वाज डूइंग व्हेन दिस प्रोजेक्ट was not being delivered because we are supposed to monitor progress of project every 3 months, if not before. Because QPR, quarterly progress reports we get. So this is one issue. Second issue you raised about the quality. And the quality is the total responsibility of the builder. And in case something goes wrong, we can hold him accountable. Not only up to the date of possession, but till 5 years later. So he has to give us the service or maintain the quality so that at least 5 years the allottees do not have any complaint. And in case any complaints are there, they can very well come to before us, and then we will pass appropriate orders.
बिल्कुल आप सभी जुड़े बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सबका यहाँ पे आने के लिए और यही उम्मीद हम कर सकते हैं कि जो हमारा हाउसिंग का सेक्टर है वो प्रगति करे आगे बढ़े और ट्रांसपेरेंसी आए और जो हमारे बायर्स हैं बिल्डर्स हैं उनमें तालमेल बने और मजबूती से आगे बढ़े नमस्कार धन्यवाद
All right, for our next conversation on how architecture in India is integrating new materials, I would now like to invite up on stage Abhishek Somani and Siddharth Talwar. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Abhishek Somani and Siddharth Talwar. As we witness rapid urbanization and technological advancements, the architectural landscape in India is evolving in exciting ways. Architects and designers, they are increasingly exploring innovative materials that not only enhance aesthetic appeal, but also improve sustainability, durability, and functionality. The integration of new materials is transforming how we approach design and construction. This shift not only reflects a commitment to sustainable practices, but also addresses the unique challenges posed by India's diverse climate and socio-economic conditions. And to discuss this, we have with us today Abhishek Somani, MD and CEO, Somani Ceramics, and Siddharth Talwar, Principal Architect and Co-founder, Studio Lotus. Gentlemen, we are talking about sustainability, we are talking about durability and functionality, but we are also talking about, innovative materials. My first question to you, Siddharth, is how do you see the role of these new materials in transforming architectural design principles, especially in the Indian context?
Thank you. So, broadly, the construction industry, it kind of takes care of a huge toll on the carbon footprint, I would say, on carbon emissions as a benchmark. I think it is amounting to almost 40% of carbon emissions onto the construction industry. So that's a sign, whereas us as architects or developers, everyone involved into this construction boom, as you were talking about, we are responsible to ensure how do we mitigate this and how do we see it long term. I think particular to your question in terms of new materials, it definitely plays a role because more and more India is looking at a massive scale. India is looking at large construction work. So in terms of scalability, flexibility, in terms of high rises, in terms of just the sheer volume of work, I think the materials needs a generational shift. As practice, we as architects, materials come pretty much later in terms of whether it's tendering or specifying or doing anything with the project. Material takes a hit. And everything goes for a toss when it comes to defining the materials in the correct way. I think it's high time materials, especially new age materials, probably precast or metal, or even as cladding services, we need to really zoom out and really think at a very large level how to take care of this. I think that would be, these are the aspects to be taken care in future.
We are talking about the new materials here. But what about the traditional surface materials, like, say, for example, marble and granite, and also then the artificial stones and, new age tile slabs impacting the overall architectural landscape? What is your thought on that?
Thank you very much for having me, first of all. And like Siddharth said, I think a lot of what has to take a transformational change is on the material, is from a point of view of weight, from the point of view of how quick you can deliver a particular building today with the kind of competition which is there. The only way a builder can earn really good money is how quickly he can churn, how quickly he can make the apartment, sell it. So that's one part of it, and that's where I think our products come into play. You take any traditional material, marble, granite, etc. There is a process of bringing it in, cutting it, polishing it, laying it, etc. Here, the products come in pre-cut, pre-polished, pre-finished. So it's a question of how quickly you can apply the material. Secondly, it's a question of what the weight of the material is. So our products range from between 6 millimeters upwards of 20, but it peaks out at 20. 99% of the tiles are between the 9 and 12 millimeter range, whereas a stone would start at about 20, 25 and go up to 30, maybe 40 millimeters. So it's also a question of weight. That's one part. The other part is it's not available anymore. It's scarce. It's a finite material, unlike our product. Any natural stone, any natural product would be finite. It's mined. So from that point of view, again, that's a challenge of getting good quality material. Whatever is available is not of fantastic quality. So for example, classic example is a Makrana white. Our Indian, good old Indian material, probably Siddharth would agree with me, probably one of the best marbles in the world is just not available. You may pay big bucks, but it's not available. So anything what is really good is so out of budget for any class of people. That's when other material, other transformational material come in. And amongst a lot of other material which are there, I think we're one of them, where it clearly has moved leaps and bounds in terms of sizes, in terms of finishes, where we are now mimicking all kinds of stones, fabrics, etc., and giving architects a lot of flexibility and a lot of consistency to finish their beautiful homes or office spaces or whatever they're designing.
Absolutely, and there is a larger discourse around sustainability as well. And we have been hearing about these on international forums, governments talking about it. What I want to understand from you is, how is sustainability playing its role in material selection now?
Actually, a very pertinent question, somewhat related to our work also. We look at materials with low carbon footprint and low embodied energy. So we feel as much as material, if possible, can be locally sourced. That's been one of the parameters when you come at the SDG goals also. Of course, it can't really happen in all the projects, and to what Abhishek mentioned, we have a projects of a very different scale, but at least in smaller projects, I think the way forward should be to really locally source the material. What does it mean? Materials which are available in 15 to 30 kilometer radius, that is what is a good practice, so that the amount of cost in transportation is just spikes up the carbon embodied energy. So there are projects where you can do, and India has abundant materials. When you also mentioned about natural materials, India has abundance of materials. So whether it is stone or earth, and you mix it up with different components to make them stabilize, to make it into building products, it is still possible. We do it at a level which is possible. It also gives employment to local labor, which is also part of the sustainability aspect. Yes, but to an extent, when you talk about large projects, of course, it cannot happen. And to picking up on what Abhishek mentioned, if the materials become, which I mentioned earlier also, if the materials can become modular, scalability when I mentioned. So if materials are precast, if they are modular, if they're cut to size, however of the work can happen at the factory, so that at the site, the large amount of work and energy required to put it out there, if that can also be minimized, it will make the projects much faster, which is also one way to look at sustainability at a much larger level.
Abhishek Sumari, before I ask you this next question, I want to admit I have this really bad habit of scrolling through Instagram reels. And I was doing that, and I came across something really fascinating. People are 3D printing their houses. In what ways do you think these advancements in technology, such as 3D printing or large format slabs, they are impacting projects in India?
So I'm not an expert on 3D printing, but yes, the kind of technology advancements which have happened across industries is very fascinating. I remember, I can talk of my sector. We used to silk screen print the tiles. And now the printing technology has moved leaps and bounds, where it's almost like a digital printer, kind of a 3D digital printer, where we, instead of putting in a paper for that printer, we're putting in a tile. And on the other side, it comes up with various kinds of designs and thicknesses and indentations, so we can actually achieve surfaces. So for example, a flamed granite look, if you had to flame a granite and make an undulated surface, that earlier was not available, but today we can easily do it with the printing technology. That is one advancement. The other advancements which are happening across the globe, there are kinetic tiles available now, where there are glazes on the tile. This was used for, the first time it was used a couple of years ago for the Tour de France cycling phenomena which happened in the world. They'd put these tiles on where the start and finish line were, and it was generating electricity every time somebody stepped on it and walked on it. Another advancement in tiles which we're hearing is coming up is they're going to be solar chips embedded in the glazes, wherein if tomorrow if you're going to do a ventilated facade, you could actually generate a little bit of electricity from the tile. Obviously not like a solar panel, but maybe a fraction of that, but at least it would aid towards reducing your cost of electricity. So lots of advancements happening. Currently what we see in India is not both of those. What we see in India is the big slabs and how we are able to mimic with complete accuracy any fabric, any stone, or any wood for that matter.
But do you see that happening in the future, in the near future?
It's already happened. It's a question of getting the cost down for it to become affordable. Right now it's already there, but it's too expensive. But it's a question of time.
And Siddharth, there is India, our country is such a diverse country, and it is climatically diverse, it is culturally diverse. I want to understand from you, how does the cultural and climatic diversity in India influence the choice of materials that we use?
So India has, you're right, very diverse cultural zones from, if you span from north to south. Languages, the way you even dress up, that changes because of the cultural diversity and especially the climate. India, I think, has about...
And the houses.
And of course the houses. So India has about, if I remember, it has about 18 climatic zones. So it has an n number of climatic zones if you divide it further. And of course, architecture and material plays a very, very important role. So for example, you can't really do a glass box building into something like, you can say, in Rajasthan. So that's not really the relevant practice. So what I mean by that is the climatic response to architecture is very important, and hence the selection of materials. So if you are in Rajasthan, stone will play a very important role, or even how to build the houses or build the buildings. The U values will come into play. Insulation will still be very important, whether you're working in the hills or working at the sea. So this climatic diversity creates the architecture, especially in our projects. Again, you will not really be finding brick in the south, whereas brick is a predominant building material in the north. So to add to this, I feel in today's context, again, if you are, of course, because at real estate, you're building in volumes, I still feel the best practices is still to do the right shading to give response to the every climatic direction, depending on which climate you are in and which zone you are in. And I still feel whether it is an old material which is still there, like a brick or a stone, or whether these are the new advancement of materials such as tiles and all, I feel how you can really integrate that material into your architecture by really working with solar shading, by working with devices which can cut the sun and allow the light. I think it can, and we've seen it worldwide, it can still give very dramatic solutions to really like very bespoke different architecture. So I'm not saying that just because you have to follow the old material, it will become a very old vernacular kind of architecture. I think a very modern, contemporary, crisp architecture can be created, even using the wisdoms of these climatic zones and the kind of materials, whether new age or old age, we can mix it. I think there is still a huge amount of possibility going forward.
All right, before we let you go, my final question to both of you. What advice would you give to young architects in India, especially about experimenting with new materials, also at the same time staying true to the local context? Starting with you.
Starting with him.
No, as I just mentioned, I think the way the Indian education is probably, especially in architecture, if you're asking me as an architect, I think there is no focus on materials. I think that comes last. There is not a lot of practicing architects which are involved in the education sector, academics. And even when we come out as young architects, I think there should be a lot of forum and engagements where the exposure to the materials can happen. I struggle even in office where I need to really, and you are part of this, I really need to ensure that this young generation, young architects should get exposed to the kind of materials which are an offer. So, so I think it depends us as practicing architects and even working with building industry, how to ensure that a lot of this wisdom goes to these young architects. They can really pick it up. I think some are already doing it, but some should do it by really ensuring all these engagements keep on happening and they get exposed to the kind of possibilities of material which are there in the market now.
For us, I think it's the advice is use material made in India. The more you use it, the more industry will grow, the more industry will become more competitive. So we are a big believer. I think a lot of brands have tried to take a dig on made in India, but we're probably one of the only brands which have been around for 53 years now, and we've been 100% made in India. In fact, our latest range, which is a range called Colorado, we've taken inspiration from all the colors of Colorado are inspirations from large buildings, historical buildings, namely from Jodhpur, from Jaipur, from parts of South India, temples, palaces, etc. So we're a large believer in made in India, and my advice would be as much as made in India one can do. If it's available in India, a product is available in India, please use Indian material, nothing but Indian material, whatever that may be.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Abhishek Somani and Siddharth Talwar. Thank you for this fabulous conversation, and thank you for being a part of the NDTV Real Estate Conclave. On to our next session, where we dive into the exciting world of property markets to see what is driving the recent surge in property prices and land transactions. I would now like to invite up on stage Rajan Bandelkar, Amit Goyal, Vikram Tanwar, and Vikas Dua. They will be in conversation with Manisha Natarajan.
All right, let's start with the smashing news. Bollywood actor Amitabh Bachchan and his son Abhishek Bachchan have bought apartments worth 25 crore rupees in Oberoi's Realty Mulund project. I'm sure they already have thousands of crores of property with them. Radhika Merchant's mother, Shaila Merchant, has purchased a sea-facing luxury apartment in South Mumbai in Prestige Ocean Tower. Now, closer to us in Gurgaon, luxury projects like the Arbor have made headlines, selling 8,000 crore rupees worth of inventory or apartments in common language in just 3 days. Now, another point, very important one, Nikhil Kamath, who had been advocating just renting a home, has actually decided or shifted his stance and bought a luxury apartment in Bengaluru very recently. So India's housing market is riding a wave of very strong demand despite rising prices. Developers continue to strike land deals despite prices of land rising dramatically as well. Now, why are India's property markets hotter than ever? And how long will this rising wave continue? Let's get some answers from my expert guest today. I have with me on my left, Rajan Bandelkar, Vice Chairman, Narretco, Amit Goyal, Managing Director, India Sotheby's International Realty, Vikram Tanwar, Founding Director and CEO of Nitara Projects, and Vikas Dua, Founder and Director of Chintamani. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. We will give the first question to our outstation guest who's come from Mumbai to Delhi. Rajan, I have never seen this kind of excitement, and this is across all segments, middle class, upper middle class, and the truly wealthy at the top, including the startup founders that we just spoke about. What is happening?
First of all, Manisha, thank you. See, if you see a real estate market, because I am in the industry from last 4 decades, so the industry is like waves. It comes up, goes down, then comes up. But unfortunately, the market was practically flatter, or rather it went down. From 2013 to 2021, almost 8 years. Thanks to Corona, because I keep on telling every time, because you just told that Nikhil Kamath, who was advocating on being on rental housing, rather than he bought his own apartment.
Right.
So Corona has made that change into all Indian people, and especially the people like you, the homemakers. Today I keep on telling, if you ask any lady, aapko sona jawra de do ya ghar de do, so she chooses home. So we all, thanks to all you women. And that too also you might have seen all the governments.
So all the excitement in the real estate market and residential is because of the women. They want a home.
Of course, and see, that why it is, my point is proved. Majority of the governments have given 1%, 2% rebate on stamp duty.
Women.
See,
Absolutely.
that's add to my point. No doubt, I don't advocate. Whatever is going on is not good for the industry. Let me be very honest, because…
Can you repeat that in a little bit louder words? Not
people
good for the industry.
in the industry, people don't like me because I'm very blunt. Because, see, rising price is like मीठा है. आप जितना मीठा खाओगे, तो no doubt आपको बीमारी आने वाली है. So, my humble submission to each and every developer, why I am telling you submission? Because, Manisha, majority of the developer, I don't tell each and everyone because somebody may not like it, I'm telling them, majority of the developers sell only 10% of their inventory at a higher price. If you see, by the time the price rise happens, only we sell 10% or 15% or 20% maximum
Which you keep
inventory.
for the last.
Yeah, but when we go and take, because our raw material is land, so when we go and buy a new land, the landowner says, नहीं, आप तो 25,000 में बेच रहे हो और आपको कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट, भले हमको 5, 6, 7 हज़ार आता होगा, वो तो 3,000 गिनता है, बोला कि आपको तो 3,000 कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट आ रहा है, बाकी तो सारा आपका मुनाफा है, मुझे इतने पैसे दे दो. So that's the vicious circle. But today, why it is happening? See, the people who are age-old people, if you see in the industry, majority of them stop buying lands. They either do JV, JD or DM, that they do it. बट द कॉर्पोरेट्स हुए कम न्यू, सो उन्होंने अभी तक उसका उन्होंने सारा अच्छा ही देखा हुआ है, बिकॉज जितने भी कॉर्पोरेट आए वो पोस्ट रेरा आए, प्री रेरा वहाँ पे कॉर्पोरेट थी नहीं, बिकॉज रियल एस्टेट इंडस्ट्री शुड बी लुक एट 2 एंगल्स, प्री रेरा एंड पोस्ट रेरा। तो आज कॉर्पोरेट्स आने से ये चल रहा है, एंड everybody is enjoying.
Everybody's enjoying.
Yeah.
But I think what you've mentioned, and Vikram, I'll come to you, what Mr. Pandilkar has mentioned is that all the rise has been post-COVID. So ऐसा लग रहा है कि market has become very hot, right? But अगर आप 2013-14 से लेके 2020 तक देखें, literally मोरी बंद हो गया था, and post-demonetization तो it had in some markets it had also come down. But do you agree that runaway prices are not good for real estate or for developers? Till what point will you continue to buy land as land prices go up?
Manisha, thank you very much for having me here, first of all. So, जो prices हैं, उनका मैं बोलूँगा direct relation है customer के confidence से. Buying a home is the largest or the biggest decision any person can take in their life, whether it is financial or emotional decision. So, during last few years, that confidence has increased. उसी की वजह से there is a beeline for in all the offices of developers, and वो confidence जो है उसके multiple reason हैं. RERA आने के बाद में there is a confidence increase. Infrastructure जैसे develop हो रहा है उसकी वजह से there is a confidence increase. इंडिया एज ए कंट्री जैसे ग्लोबल मार्केट्स में परफॉर्म कर रहा है, हमारी जीडीपी जितना अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रही है, उसकी वजह से बायर दे आर वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट दैट दे शुड हैव अ होम, और उसकी वजह से ही देयर इज़ अ डिमांड. सो दिस डिमांड इज़ एक्चुअली ट्रिगरिंग द प्राइस हाइक. बट फॉर श्योर अगर करेक्शन आता भी है, घर तो चाहिए. सो घर चाहिए तो देयर विल बी अ डिमांड फॉर श्योर.
करेक्ट.
So I think this is the price increase, whether there will be a correction or not, but demand will be there, and that's a fantastic opportunity for every developer.
For every developer. All right. Amit, as an advisor to, of course, the top end of the market, which is the HNIs, but you have a deep perspective of what's happening in India's real estate. Are there pockets which are hot? And therefore, we believe all of India, all top 7 cities, all markets are doing well. Or there is pent-up demand which we are seeing today, which is making this bull run seem very strong. What's your view?
You're right, Manisha. So there is a lot of liquidity. These strong economic, macroeconomic factors are really playing a role where people are wanting to buy good homes, upgrade their homes. And in terms of my view on, the way forward, I think it's all about demand and supply dynamics. Those dynamics indicate that the demand remains robust and the supply is lesser, because a lot of inventory has been taken up, has been picked up by home buyers in the last 3 years when market has seen good run, as my co-panelists coming and buying properties. But in the last 3 years, we've seen more and more investors coming back into the real estate space and investing. In fact, we do a survey, and this year our survey findings were that 44% of the investors who invested into real estate in the last 1 year, actually their primary reason was investment besides other factors, right? So that indicates that investor is back into the real estate market. They are optimistic about the future. They're optimistic on the price appreciation, capital appreciation, and also rentals have been growing.
Rentals have also caught up. So
Absolutely.
that's another thing. No, you're right. I mean, I cannot believe that Amitabh Bachchan and Abhishek Bachchan don't already own at least 1,000 crore worth of real estate, but they've still invested in some more flats from a quality developer. Vikas, let me come to you. You're in a market which is one of the hottest. When we talk about the fact that, okay, some are hot markets, some are good markets, but most markets are doing well in top 7 cities, but some are really hot, and Dwarka Expressway is one of them. Do you believe that it's pent-up demand, and because there is not that much supply that prices are going up? Or do you feel that there is some aspect of वो कहते हैं ना, हमारे हिंदी में एक कहावत होती है, बहती गंगा में हाथ धो लेते हैं। अब आ ही रहा है बायर, तो हम बिल्डर है, थोड़ा अभी कर लेते, बढ़ा लेते। वी डोंट नो अबाउट फ्यूचर वेदर इट विल रिमेन द सेम और नॉट. व्हाट्स हैपनिंग?
Well, Manisha, although I'm a strong advocate of that we developers, ourselves being the developers, we should not aim for appreciations. Our job is to buy in hectares and convert those hectares into constructed, developed, fully developed square feet areas. And our bottom line should only be generated from that value addition job that we are doing.
That's
That
a
core
good point.
area we should focus to, stick to. But yeah, once in a while, such spurts are more than welcome. It serves as a booster dose for revival and
Correct.
sustenance. And as far as the conversation going on as if there's a big boom which has already happened in the industry is concerned, I don't think so. It has just come up from the undervalued levels to fairly valued now, by now.
Oh, you think right now it's fairly valued? Dwarka Expressway is now ranging between what? Amit, give me the price. 12,000 to 20 पहुंच गया होगा?
Correct. How does it matter? How does it matter?
It matters because it's becoming unaffordable. No, but here's my very solid question, and a more pointed question for which I would seek an answer. At some point, what some of the experts tell me is that yes, there is demand, so developers like you will continue to buy land vikas, right? But there will be a point where you will do your math and say, now it's too expensive. And we don't feel that there will be demand and the land deals will stop. Do you think we are close to that, or do you think that's a far away, maybe 3 years, 4 years, 5 years into the future? What's your take?
Allow me to be candid here. Though it has doubled, the land prices having been doubled or a little more than that or even in past 2 years, more so in Dwarka Expressway, and the hotter beds have commanded more premium, more appreciations happening. But उसको अगर हम आज भी कंपेयर करें, what does that 30 crore rupees translate to per acre? It's only 60,000 rupees per square yard, which is 1/9, 1/10 the price of an average Delhi plot. So that's the room going forward. Even E grade, D grade, E grade places in Delhi, the land prices are much more. And the average place is 8, 9, 10 times more than Dwarka Expressway. So there's a room. I'm a strong advocate that, yeah, though we should command premium at the times when God permits us to, but we should always keep on buying more land. The more units we sell, we should cover up in buying land. As Rajan Bhai was earlier telling us that by the time we sell, and as we were able to sell at higher rates, only some 10-15% of the inventory. Hence, we are unable to buy the land in the next round of things. So if we don't want that to happen to us, we should be fairly quick.
So you're saying that keep accumulating land because times are good and you feel that they're still much cheaper than, let's say, Delhi. Amit, I'll move that way now. So real estate is cyclical, we all know that. At least that's the way it's behaved in the past. It's about a 7-year cycle. Let's assume that we started in 2021. We are in 2024, so we are 3 years into the cycle. Do you believe that because there's a pivotal shift in India's economic blocks, that this rally in real estate could be longer? Or do you think that we will follow that 7 years, which means another 4 years of good times left?
That's a great question, Manisha. And I would be optimistic that yes, 7 years and perhaps longer this time, because all the factors are in the positive zone, whether it is capital markets performance, stable government, robust consumption within India, right? So we are consuming, whether it is data, automobile, pharma, most of the productions. Overall, global investors, they are looking at India in a big way, very positive way, because they see, again, stability of governance, countries full of enterprising people, right? There is consumption within India, within the country. We are able to consume quite a lot.
So considering all of it, I feel the interest rate cycle is again something which is going to be favorable. Interest rates may soften in the years to come. So all of it may make all the reason for this cycle to continue maybe 7, 8, 9 years, if not longer.
Why are the rich buying so much real estate? I mean, one is investment, but are there other reasons? Is it they already live in beautiful homes? So is it truly with the perspective of capital appreciation, diversification? Because they're also taking the prices up, Amit.
So it is definitely diversification as one of the key reasons. And also socio-economic factors. You know, psychologically, people buying homes in prime locations of the city that they live in, branded residence, they want to buy upgraded, you know, homes, larger, more amenities, and also buying for their future generations. So it is not just the you know, property purchase is being done for that person who's writing the check, but also their son, daughter, more family members.
So intergenerational wealth.
Absolutely.
That's what they want to create. Absolutely. Okay. Vikram, what's your plan? I mean, is there enough? NCR market goes crazy. ये तो सबको पता है that in bad time पटकता भी सबसे ज़्यादा है और अच्छे टाइम में it also goes up or it goes a little bit crazy or nuts, as they say. Investors come in very quickly because they love real estate in North India. How long do you believe that this cycle will continue? Because a lot of people that I meet keep asking me, is this the right time to buy a home? Manisha, the prices have already gone up so much. Should I wait? Do you think prices will stabilize? What should I tell them? Honest answer.
Yeah. So I'll answer this in a different manner. I am actually not talking about Gurgaon or Delhi, but I'm talking about India as a country.
Yeah.
So we have a big population, and the way GDP and per capita income is shifting, so there will be lots of urbanization in coming years. So in next 10 years, there will be a huge demand for housing. And I think that this is a big opportunity for developers to develop homes. And the infrastructure will actually give a boost to new satellite cities. So, आपने द्वारका एक्सप्रेसवे का 2 बार जिक्र किया. So द्वारका एक्सप्रेसवे अगर एक्सपेंसिव है और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अवेलेबल है, so लोग सोना जाएंगे, जहाँ पे कि लैंड या फ्लैट्स.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So this is actually interrelated. और रियल एस्टेट प्राइजेस जो हैं वो लोकेशन की वजह से हैं. सो हो सकता है आज द्वारका एक्सप्रेसवे महंगा लग रहा हो, बट 10 साल पहले सीपी में अगर किसी ने इन्वेस्ट किया है तो दैट्स अ प्राइम मार्केट नाउ. सो ग्रेजुअली दिस सेंटर विल शिफ्ट टू tier 2, tier 3 cities or satellite cities, but demand will be there, and I think because of the demand, I am very optimistic on the pricing also.
No, and satellite cities are, because we are so densely populated, satellite cities, whether it's Sona, now you have new Noida, which is going up right up to Bagpat, right? So it's just growing. And these seem like, we call them NCR, but they're actually pockets which are just, the city is growing. And that's what's happening in Mumbai also, isn't it? The infrastructure has made Navi Mumbai now a very viable market. People are looking more closely at it. So you have a new airport coming there. Similarly, now you have Alibag connectivity improving. So Alibag, Emaar projects have sold so well. Coastal Road. The sleepy South Mumbai has woken up. Suddenly South Mumbai is selling, Rajan, isn't it? So infrastructure is changing everything. But again, my question is what a home buyer wants an answer to from this panel. Do I buy today? Do I wait? What do I do? How do I take my decision?
I will answer in a different way. अगर आपको लड़की पसंद आती है तो आप शादी करते हो.
फिर आप नहीं देखोगे कि टाइम क्या है, सही या नहीं है.
लड़की और मकान दोनों सेम ही है. अगर आपको पसंद आ रही है, आपको पोसाती है, आपको 100% लेना चाहिए. बिकॉज ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड, जो घर आपने लिया होगा 1 करोड़ में, उसकी कीमत 10 करोड़ है. वो सिर्फ पेपर पे आपको, आप बेचने वाले नहीं हो.
तो इन्वेस्टर के लिए, चलिए घर एंड यूज के लिए अगर राजन घर खरीदना है, ये तो हम भी बोलते हैं कोई सही टाइम नहीं होता है.
मनीषा लेट मी टेल यू, तभी भी मैंने आपको, या हालांकि जितने पैनल बोल रहे हैं, मैं थोड़ा उससे डिफरेंट सोचता हूँ. प्राइजेस सिर्फ थोड़े पॉकेट में बढ़े, और थोड़े पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट्स में बढ़े, बाकी ओवरऑल नहीं बढ़े। यू ट्राई एंड अंडरस्टैंड, अगर ओवरऑल बढ़े रहते हैं ना तो आप ही के चैनल, मतलब आप ही जितने मीडिया वाले हर टाइम बोलते हैं कि इस साल में इतने साल का रिकॉर्ड तोड़ा, वो हो ही नहीं सकता है। सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट थैंक्स टू आवर प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी, द डे ही केम, ही पुट अप अ थॉट इनटू ईच एंड एवरी इंडियन माइंड कि अपना खुद का घर होना चाहिए, हाउसिंग फॉर ऑल। सी तब तक किसी ने मार्केट ही नहीं किया था रियल एस्टेट को। रियल एस्टेट वाज,
And you, the industry got the best marketing man, right? Marketing
101%,
person, brand ambassador is the
101%.
prime minister
So
of the country.
We tell he is our brand ambassador because he has put it into each and everybody's mind कि अब housing for all. And no doubt, see what we were not creating, we are not creating affordable housing. Unfortunately, affordable is only on the paper. But they have created, in Maua you tell, they have created more than 1 crore houses. Now they are planning for 3 crore houses. So it's not a joke. And see, India's story is shining. Whether we believe it or don't believe it, you ask anyone on the globe where you want to put your money, the first choice would be India. So when there is ample money, so 100%, moreover, real estate has become really a real estate this time. So that is an estate. बाकी कोई भी चीज़ अगर आप सोना लो, जेवरात लो, आपको तो लेके जाके लॉकर में रखना पड़ता है, ये रखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। एंड फॉर्चुनेटली इसकी प्राइस भले डाउन भी गई, उसके बाद भी वापस बढ़ती है, तो यू गेट योर प्राइस। आई डोंट सी अ सिंगल मैन हु हैज़ लॉस्ट मनी इन रियल एस्टेट।
Okay, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
There will be some movement, but in
See,
the longer term you will make money.
That is from an investor point of view. क्या होता है कि वो 10 मकान, 20 मकान, 25 मकान जो बेचते हैं ना, हालांकि मैं एज अ कंपनी आई रेयरली गिव इट टू इन्वेस्टर, लेट मी टेल यू वेरी ऑनेस्टली फ्रॉम द डे वन। बिकॉज क्या होता है कि मार्केट जब नीचे जाता है सबसे पहले इन्वेस्टर भाग जाते हैं और उसके वजह से वो बोलते हैं ना शिप को ज़्यादा डिस्टर्ब करते हैं। सो एक्चुअल होम बायर होगा एंड देयर सी आप लोग आज बोल रहे हैं कि दाम बढ़े हैं, ओवरऑल मैं बोलूँ अभी भी ये दाम सही है और ये और कम से कम 2030 तक 29 में अगर वापस जो सरकार आएगी, बिकॉज रियल एस्टेट इज मोर डिपेंड ऑन दी स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, बिकॉज विच गवर्नमेंट कम्स ना ऑटोमेटिकली उसमें फर्क पड़ता है, बिकॉज द डिसीजन मेकिंग, बिकॉज वी आर मोर ओवर कनेक्टेड विद देम, बिकॉज ऑल आवर परमिशन जो भी है सब चीज़ के अंदर। एंड सेकेंड इज द स्टॉक, मतलब आज क्या हो गया, फॉर्चुनेटली डिमांड इज मोर देन व्हाटएवर वी प्रोड्यूस। ये तो आज
correct. Inventories or unsold apartments, which we say is unsold inventories at a 11-month low. That's a very important factor. And like we mentioned in a panel before, that what India is selling is about 5 lakh units through formal sector or developers, vis-a-vis 65 lakhs in China. Even if the difference is there, but look at NCR.
Our population is more than China.
More than China. Yeah. And because I'm going to come to you, and this is the math seems to be poised in the favor of the sector doing better or the prices continuing to rise. Because 4 crore people in National Capital Region, but the units which are privately launched units are just about 45,000, 50,000 per year. That is the difference between the demand and supply. Again, but it is not price inelastic. कहीं पे तो जाके जो आप बहुत ज़्यादा इलास्टिक को खींचेंगे तो टूटता है। इस समय you think that we are all right, well priced?
Well, Manisha, it's a very multifaceted aspect that we are talking of here. One is, it's not only about demand and supply. Supply can be increased by the government side if they increase the land bank, land under the master plan. If they increase, that can be covered up, supply side of things. But it's majorly about, it's not that if you can't afford to buy in Delhi, then you buy in Gurgaon or Noida. It's the other way around rather, in fact, as of now. In Delhi, it's all, in Delhi or any other major metro for that matter, it's all about the houses that are constructed. It's concrete jungles. But now what most of the developers are into the business is of selling snob values, selling aspirational living.
Yeah.
Whereas in the entire Delhi, for that matter, has become a walled city. People want to upgrade to resort-style living, such kind of things. Whereas over there, it's only brick and mortar in Delhi, most of it. So if not the older generation, the newer generations in each one of the families, they want to switch over.
Which is true. I agree that, you know, there is a lot, the stock in the capital is not increasing, and then businesses, offices are in the satellite cities, and therefore a lot of youngsters are looking for lifestyle. Amit, have you seen that even the wealthy? So one is that the youngsters and new money people, young couples who have jobs in Noida or Gurgaon will buy there. But are you seeing a trend of the wealthy maybe also shifting? Who's buying Camellia 100 crore apartments?
You see, you'll be surprised. I know a lot of people who've come from, even outside of Delhi, NCR, and bought into Magnolias, Camellias, and now the new project, Dahlias. And since you mentioned about Emaar project in Alibag, so Emaar is now back, with few projects in the pipeline, and they just launched earlier this week one project in Alibag, where they have about 84 units on a 25-acre project. And we at Sotheby's have done over 30% sales in that project alone, right?
In 1 week?
In 1 week,
Wow.
right? And in that sale, we've seen people coming from Delhi, people coming from South, people coming from Mumbai, of course. Mumbai is the majority. But we've seen almost half the buyers coming from other towns and not just Mumbai.
So there's a lot of mobility all India.
Absolutely. That's the point I'm
Ah.
I'm wanting to draw. And I think that gives us a reason to believe that, real estate investors are investing depending on where they feel they can get maximum capital appreciation and maximum rental.
Okay. Vikram, if there was one thing on your wish list as a developer for, let's say, a robust real estate market, which can also become, broad-based to include the middle class, affordability for middle class, what would that be? And one, I'm going to ask all of you for one wish, not two, not three.
For sure, I'll opt for one thing, which is a part of Modi ji's हर बंदे के लिए घर जो उन्होंने एक नारा दिया है. So there is a scheme of Haryana government, which is दीन दयाल योजना.
Correct.
इसमें आप छोटे प्लॉटेड डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर घर बना सकते हैं, विच इज़ लो राइज डेवलपमेंट. सो एक तो लो राइज डेवलपमेंट का फ़ायदा ये है कि ओवरऑल जो डिलीवरी पीरियड है वो कम है. इट्स नॉट 4 years, 5 years और 6 years. इट इज़ डिलीवर्ड इन 2 to 3 years. दैट इज़ वन. सेकेंडली, आज भी जब हम नॉर्थ इंडिया की बात करते हैं तो लोग ज़मीन से जुड़ा रहना चाहते हैं.
बिल्कुल.
सो इट्स अ 4-story बिल्डिंग. सो आई ऑलवेज बेट ऑन building which is low rise, a project which is delivered faster in speed, and जिसका gestation period भी कम रहेगा. So it is one development in which there is one home on one floor, which is called independent floor, and I think which is best suited for anyone who is looking for a larger space.
So you'll never do high rise? I know Nitara does this kind of low rise development, which is ground plus 4, but आप कभी नहीं चाहोगे हाई राइजेस में?
So for sure, इसमें the answer is bit long and complex, but I always believe that जो वेटिंग पीरियड है प्रोजेक्ट डिलीवरी का, वो बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर है किसी भी होम बायर के लिए. सो अगर रेरा में भी 6 साल लिख के हम चल रहे हैं और मार्जिन है उसमें 1 साल का, 7 year इज अ ह्यूज पीरियड.
वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम.
सो आई ऑलवेज बिलीव कि जिस प्रोजेक्ट का डिलीवरी पीरियड कम है उस पे कस्टमर का फेथ ज़्यादा होगा, और इतना टाइम तो घर के रिनोवेशन में भी लग जाता है एक साल में, अगर हम ढंग से करने लगे तो.
क्योंकि लेबर ही नहीं मिलता है.
Correct. So I'll always bet on that.
All right. So low rises. Any markets, Vikas, that you will look at outside of NCR or your core markets?
I would say we all are blessed to be in India. The right time, right place.
Right time, right place. Rajan, I will take the concluding note from you. We've already discussed that this is good enough as a market to buy your home. अगर शादी करनी है तो लड़की पसंद आ जाती है, आप ले लीजिए. अभी दाम उतने नहीं बढ़े हैं, सिर्फ लास्ट 3 साल में बढ़े हैं. If you take a longer period, prices are still all right to go ahead and buy a home. But ये तो मानना पड़ेगा that prices have gone beyond India's large middle class. I'm not even talking about affordable. I'm not even talking about homes under 50 lakh rupees. I'm talking about, पहले बहुत launches होते थे developers के in that 60 lakhs to about 1 crore price. But those are slowly disappearing. Even in satellite towns as they are growing, those are disappearing. Is there one thing you have on your wish list so that we can really meet the dream of our brand ambassador, Prime Minister Modi, which is housing for all, and developers can do it?
2 wishes. One
चलिए
additional.
आपको हम 2 देते हैं, आप बॉम्बे से आए हैं.
नहीं, वन इज दैट कि आज जो अफोर्डेबल क्यों नहीं है, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट इज द बिगेस्ट पार्टनर विद अस. आज अगर आप 1 करोड़ का मकान बोलते हो ना, 35 से 40 लाख रुपया सरकार लेके जाती है उसमें, विच इज अ ह्यूज 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 अमाउंट.
करेक्ट.
सो और क्या कि आज इन्होंने जब जीएसटी में भी अफोर्डेबल का रखा है 45 लाख, मुझे नहीं लगता है कि इंडिया के कोई भी मेट्रोस में 45 लाख में किसी को घर मिलता है.
So, फॉर्मल सेक्टर से नहीं, आप लैंड खरीद के खुद अपने लिए बना लें झांसी छोटी सी Tier 3 सिटी में, तो शायद पॉसिबल है.
वो अलग बात है. हाँ, वो भी Tier 3 सिटी में, Tier 1 2 में तो वो सोच भी नहीं सकता, वैसी हालत है. और अगर उसको सोचना है तो भी 100 किलोमीटर लंबे सोचना पड़ेगा, विच इज द सेकेंड होम, not the first home, because it is not.
एक तो taxes, you have to compress, 35% is going to the government. If you want more middle.
It should not be more than 12 to 15%.
Okay.
या सो क्या होगा कि एक तो 20% उसमें कम हो जाएगा, और वो 20% ये क्या हमको डे 1 पे लगता है, बिकॉज इफ यू टेक द अप्रूवल टुडे, रेरा इज देयर, until and unless you register under RERA, you can't sell it. And majority of the developer, let me tell you, they don't sell it also. Majority of the developer, because it's a social media is so active, everything is on RERA, so it's not, because whoever want to be in the industry, they don't do it. First. Second is that हमने आग बंद कर खोले ना, तब अप्रूवल मिले बस.
अप्रूवल्स आप फास्ट कर दीजिए, बिकॉज यू विल सेव कैपिटल ऑफ 6 to 8 months. नहीं तो आपका कैपिटल जो है कॉस्ट बढ़ता जाता है, एंड देयरफॉर यू हैव टू पास इट ऑन टू द कंज्यूमर. आई नो दैट द इंडस्ट्री हैज दैट विश फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट टाइम सिंस आई हैव बीन कवरिंग रियल एस्टेट फॉर द लास्ट 12 years. These two things have become much better for the home buyer with RERA, etc. Safer. It's getting formalized, but these two things still need to be taken care of for homes to become affordable for the middle class and masses of India. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on this very special panel. Property markets seem that they're going to be hot for some more days to come or years to come. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, and with that, we come to an end of the NDTV Real Estate Conclave. We would like to thank all of you for being with us today and for your valuable insights. I would also take this opportunity to thank our partners, our sponsors. The NDTV Real Estate Conclave is presented by Hero Homes, co-powered by Chintamani's, Rungta Steel, ACC Cement, Ambuja Cement, Nitara Estates, Merino Laminates, Sumani Ceramics, Telecom partner Airtel, lighting partner Philips, special partner Canara Bank, associate partners Vectus Water Tanks and Becca. Thank you once again. I would now request everyone to join us for tea.